This video is to explain my in-game actions and thoughts so that hopefully new players can see gameplay of me trying to be an effective squad leader / squad player. I'll try to explain as much game mechanics, tips, tactics, and map knowledge for this game, so I may be repeating myself often throughout these video series. If you can learn the squad leader game's mechanics / responsibilities, then you can be an effective squad player. Squad leader responsibilities are creating spawn points, either the rallies for your squad, habs for your team, creating ammo and placements for the fobs, looking at the map to redirect your squad to relevant objectives or enemy spawn points, communication, passing info to other squad leaders and to your squad, creating fireteam leads / teams to help mark and pass info, marking enemies on map, and lastly, ranging marks for the anti-tank roles. So, as new players, when you start the game, you're going to see the two factions you're playing as and against. If you have not done so already, go into the training range and shoot each faction's weapons, because they have distinct firing sounds. That way, in game, you can know who's friendly and who's enemy in the distance. When you join in game, you'll see the two factions' uniforms, so that in game you can see you can already know who's friendly, who's foe, and you don't hesitate to kill the enemy. When you join the server, also whatever layer it is, and if you're new to the server, you can scroll through the server roles so that you don't get kicked.
Hopefully I can get the hat, man.
So I'll just explain Yeho for a little bit. As far as common flags for your blue floor faction, most times your airfield and your novos are going to be the most common second / third flag you're going to have to capture / hold, because the red floor faction, the op fours, they like to set their helos down somewhere on the west novos or towards the Mowglis, and they also like to get their BTRs and Tigers to rush towards novos. Also, the Russians like to try to get a helo towards, I think this is Petrivka's. And if you have not done so already, you can use squad lanes to help you kind of see where flags could be. So the Stephanies is what I was referring to, that helo is dropping off to. So if you're a new squad player or squad leader, go ahead, use squad lanes. Not necessarily if you don't want to see where exactly where the lanes will go, but just to see where the map flag locations are going to be. And then depending on what type of layer it is, like this one, it says no lanes, so it could go anywhere. Whereas RAAS V1 kind of see where it's going, like either east. So back to the game. Most common for Yeho, you would have to pretty much try to defend the mid and middle / eastern lane. That's the most common lanes that it goes to. This western lane is less common, but as for me personally, I like to at least grab this western lane and the Mowgli kind of areas, just in case it does go that way, and my squad is able to help capture the flag faster. If you have not done so already, you can also look at this tank icon and to see what the vehicles are for the layer. So go ahead, press this tank icon, and you can see what your team vehicles are and what the enemy vehicles have, and also if they had a spawn timer. You can also go to this setting wheel on the top right, and me personally, I like to have a roll icon on so I can see on the map what the player's role is instead of what the direction they're looking at. And also on this map icon scaling, I like to have mine close to 2. If you have the default 1, then your icons are smaller. If you increase it, you can see the flag. you can see the role icons and enemy marks a lot clearer. So whenever I squad lead, I'm mostly a infantry squad leader. I don't play too much with armor. So whenever I create a squad, I'm always going to say what I am. So example, infantry, and then I'm going to say mic or kick, because this game requires communication. Even if you're shy and you don't feel like you don't want to talk in this game, I don't need you to converse with me. I just need you to give out relevant information such as enemies' positions or vehicles or spawn locations, stuff like that. Just the small talk that's necessary for your squad leader. I'll give a little also to this. Most servers, they require you to title your squad what type of vehicle you're claiming, not just example armor. It's too broad, and most servers will enforce this rule of creating the actual armor vehicle name instead of just saying armor. And also, example, if this squad 2 and the squad 5 made both tank squads, then squad 2 has priority over the tank if there was only one tank. So, and also same goes for helos. So that's just the most common server rule throughout all the servers. Of course, look through the beginning and to see what the server rules are in the beginning when you do the team game mode off. Let me go back to the beginning where this bottom right here is. You can go and even while you're in game, you can hit this team games mode info, and it will turn you back to the beginning screen, and then you can look through the server rules. So whenever you join a squad, go ahead, give out like a hello to your squad leader so he knows you have a mic. He's probably going to do a mic check anyways, but just in the beginning, just give out a quick hello to your squad leader. If you plan on squad leading, the most two common vehicles that infantry squad leader is going to take is either a Logi, a Helo, or a light vehicle. Logi helos so that the squad leader could create spawn points, fobs. If you choose to take a light vehicle, then you're going to put rally points down for your squad.
Roger. And just get into build. I'll help you build. Yeah. If we can't get it.
Okay, we're going to get in 6.
So I'm just waiting for enough people to join. Then I'll pass out. Normally I would pass out fire team leads and fire teams. And then they can pass it along themselves and mark stuff on the map.
I will do a mic check. If you don't have a mic, please leave.
You want to go?
I'll give FTLs in a second.
So we already have one squad heading to the east lane. I would advise getting a squad to get West Novo and getting a squad towards the Mowgli's. If you can get, of course you need a back cap squad, but try to cover some mid-cap flag locations. These three being the most common.
What do you think of Lower Moke?
I would also advise in the beginning of the game to not play any music or being loud on local comms, so that squad leaders can talk to each other and kind of strategize where they're going to set up their fobs.
What do you want to do, Corey or Lower Moke?
So kind of like what I said in the beginning, me personally, I like to try to cover this west lane since it's less common. My plan is to get a few guys towards this like western flag location so they can start the cap. Once our first 2 caps get grabbed, then we're quickly on those 3. And it is uncommon, but I just personally like to do that. Otherwise, I just advise you covering the middle lane and your east lane.
It's up to you.
Yeah, we could go Lower Moke then.
So this 2 move mark you see, I believe he's a tank. And you'll see the blue 4 factions like to drive their armor kind of head in this direction, or kind of come up towards the Novos and help take out the BTRs.
Because quarry's less common, but sometimes I
So
like to.
another tactic you should do as squad leaders, infantry squad leaders, is if you plan to get in a helo and there's not enough infantry squads, then you potentially have the ability to grab an empty logi, get 1 or 2 drivers in there, and then have the logi meet up wherever you land in the helo, so you can bring either more supplies or for you to create more spawn points.
All right, NFT, you got a mic? Wayne?
So there's 2 ways you can do a mic check. Either each player give them out, call them out and have them say whether they have a mic or not. Another way is just having the whole group talk, and then you'll see their icons turning on. I personally don't like the second way, because in case, example, let's say Chef, I saw his mic turn on, but he may have his mic muted or something happened where his mic is not working in game, then that may hurt the team later on. So just me personally, I would recommend giving out each person calling out that they have a mic so you can actually hear them.
Yep.
Chef? Chef, you got a mic?
Yes, sir.
Smitty?
Yep, yep.
Bear?
I would also say, as squad leaders, y'all need to be discussing who's grabbing the first flag, whether it be an armor vehicle or a light vehicle or a logi that's heading that way. Someone needs to grab the first flag.
If
Especially since when you have, I believe, 8 or 9 people, makes the cap go faster. Try to have an infantry squad
Doctor,
do
if
it.
you want to go grab a PMV, go ahead. Do your mining if you want.
So kind of what I said earlier, we have all these logis empty, and I'm going to think to myself, okay, we need to grab 1 logi and have them head to wherever we land, so they can build, they can help either resupply that fob or create new fobs.
Copy.
Rifleman, try to stick with 8T.
So to the Bravo and Charlie teams, example, I like to give my AT, whether they be lats or hats, the actual team leader, FTL, so they can put their Bravo or Charlie mark down on a vehicle, and then I could put my move mark, my squad leader mark down on that, and it gives them ranging marks. And then if, example, let's just say Bear needed to mark something, then Brother can pass him FTL, or if whatever reason Brother's busy, then I can pass Bear FTL.
Alright. You know what, actually,
so I let the engineer go ahead grab a vehicle so he can do his mining.
Grand, go ahead, grab a logi.
I'm sorry.
Alright, where's AT going?
And I will say it is common to have a squad called fob hunters, and what they would do is either go to the enemy's back caps and look for radios. Each radio costs 20 tickets, so I would actually recommend not putting fobs down on your back caps until you see where your mid cap is, and then create your fobs around there. If you create
AT in the chopper, I need Grand to
we'll
get
wait
the
for
logi.
the
Doctor, you
overall
can get a PMV
map.
if you want.
If you create a fob example on West Lane and it turns out
You're just going to meet up
the
with the
relevant
squad.
flags are on East Lane, then I would advise you taking down your old radios. So example, let's say where my squad is going on the West Lane, and then the blue is on the East Lane. Let's say the flags are coming towards the east side, then as my squad, we need to take down this radio and then move to the relevant objectives. That way you don't lose those 20 tickets for the radio.
In case it goes, example, West Lane or East Lane.
Okay.
Just meet up with the squad on the move mark if you're in the vehicle. Doctor, you don't want a PMV?
Nah, they've been all butthurt about it.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead, Doctor, and get in Granddad, Logi, just in case another squad needs a backup Logi. Let's try to grab the Logis, guys. If you're in the chopper, get one of your guys to grab a Logi, bring it towards you.
Another thing I would recommend is trying to get some sort of repair station. I mean, it's most common towards airfield or like East Novo area, but try to get a repair station somewhere. Example, if our tanks were battling on Novo's area, they don't have to return all the way back to main. If they can, have a repair station somewhere away from the action, but close enough for the armor to retreat and repair and rearm themselves.
Wherever you land.
Son of a bitch. That's that E repay, bro.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. Oh man, the E3 pay. No, the E1 pay is down bad.
If you ever find yourself in a situation where your squad got disbanded or whatever the reason is, you're in game and you have the recruit role, go ahead, join a new squad, and then head to these ammo crates and select your new role before you go in game just with the recruit role. The recruit role, I believe, only has 2 mags and I believe 2 bandages, and that's it. So always try to grab a real role, such as rifleman, medic.
Once we
AT.
land, I'll have the medic build. I want everyone. I'm just going to put marks down.
Don't you worry about ret, mama.
Just northwest and east.
So my plan right there was just to try to cover, because as we know, it's not guaranteed where we're heading right now is the actual flag. So I'm just telling my guys to get off where the fob is going to be created and get ready. For your Mowglis, you have your West Mowgli, East Mowgli, and then your Lower Mowgli. And so I'm just preparing for that in case the enemy's got a chopper there or had a Logi.
When we land, I'll have the medic build. I want everyone. I'm just going to put marks down.
Don't you worry about ret, mama.
With this like kind of like 360, I'm trying to get my guys to also have auditory cues, whether they hear a Logi or a Helo or a BTR or whatever. If they're in a certain direction and they hear a vehicle, then I can relay that to the other squad leaders.
Just northwest and east. Most of the time, the choppers land at West Novo. I'm just going to put a heli mark. Most of the time, they land on the West Novo. So just keep an eye out.
For Homestead, please. Somebody volunteer that shit.
Some dumb shit you should just never get involved with. Yeah. Well, because you'll end up hating your life. Give her your E and followed by a number. Just ignore that.
So kind of late. We should
Whenever we land and the Logi meets up with us, I'll get back in the Logi and try to get more habs up, possibly
if no
towards
one
Novo or Core.
is on command comms are talking, then if you had enough guys to spare, get them into a light vehicle and have them back cap. Or if you're already in the Logi yourself and you're heading that direction, someone needs to grab the first flag. Otherwise, everyone heading towards the quote-unquote mid caps would not be relevant until we actually grab our back
Are you going to
caps.
grab it? If not, I could get my 2 guys in the Logi to grab Homestead. Yeah, go ahead, Logi. Grab the flag.
Yeah, Squad 9, if you can take.
So I believe it's 2 or 3 minute mark after the game starts, then a truck spawns in. So if you join in late and all the vehicles are taken, just wait you can also check the vehicle icon on the top to see when that truck loads in, and then you can get your squad to either get in that truck and move to wherever they need to, or wait for actual spawn location to spawn and then get your guys to spawn there.
That'd be awesome.
The difference between a truck and a Logi is Logis can create fobs, whereas trucks only have 300 ammo and that's it. And you can tell whether it's a Logi or a regular truck in game by the supply crates on the back of the bed.
Yeah. My two guys in Logi will start it for you.
No, just go to Logoff, or oh yeah, okay, we got it. No, somebody's already gone to lower Mogoff.
So, what this other squad leader is saying, a lower Mowgli. If you don't know the names of the actual flag name, you can always use the grids. So example, this being I-13, kind of that area, because most, especially for me, I don't know every example. I don't know all the flag names. So if you need to, just use the grids, and it'll help your other squad leaders know where you need them to move to.
Okay.
Enemy
So
chopper
when you're ever in the chopper, always give callouts to what you see.
towards Novo, or it's the
As squad leaders or FTLs, you need to be marking this on the map so that the other teams
east.
can see what's going on.
East.
Moke. Your spot.
There is a heli northeast, guys. To get ready.
So now that we're seeing them creating a fob towards the east
I only need
Novo,
medic to stick with me. Everyone else.
my thinking is to get at least 1 or 2 guys to dig the hab up and have everybody else quickly push wherever that heli created the fob and quickly kill that fob before more of their team can spawn in. If you see an enemy logi or heli touching down, then you need to quickly push that so their hab doesn't get up, or they don't get enough guys to spawn
Everyone
in.
start heading north. Medic with me. Medic with me. Everyone else start heading north.
Mob up yet?
Alright, go.
So normally I never recommend putting your radio and then your, let's just say the hab close. I try to separate it. You have this whole, I think it's 150 meter. You can put your hab. If you have the time, always separate your hab and radio. That way, if your hab gets overrun, the enemy still have to find that radio and then the 20 tickets. So always try to separate your hab and radio. Of course, it depends on your location and timing.
Quickly push the enemy hab.
And usually,
I only need medic with
if you can find a building that has multiple exits,
me.
Try to get it indoor so that your hab doesn't get airstriked.
No, I will. I will.
So right now I'm just quickly trying to get a spawn point down so that when my infantry dies, they can quickly spawn back.
We can. I'm sorry.
And I still have my logi that's grabbing the first flag towards the southeast. In my mind, I'm thinking of waiting for that logi to drive up. Either he can pick me up or we meet at a certain destination and create another spawn point. Reason being is this helo most likely saw where we touched down, and if they were smart, they would get a few guys to swoop around and find our spawn point.
Logi, who's talking to me? Yeah, you're just capping the flag. My bad, I thought you were with me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're just capping it.
No, you're good.
So as you
Medic,
notice,
when you're done
no
building
one's
that,
on
start
Nova
heading
right
east
now.
with me.
It's pretty uncommon
Trying
to
to
have
rally
a
down
squad, quote unquote, prepare
towards
for
Nova.
Novos. It is a common second/third flag for Blue 4, and the Op 4 likes to rush Novos to
Don't
try to
cluster
stall.
together, guys. Try to spread out.
6 and 7.
The reason you want your guys to spread out, let's just say an example, there was a enemies kind of like right here. They have this whole, my squad right now is kind of clustered together where these guys can just easily shoot. If you can get your guys to kind of like spread out, get some guys to flank around, never just attack in one direction, always flank, have a few guys flank around. Get your middle guys to either be a distraction, or if they can, spread out about 20 or so meters away, and that way they have different line of sight of whatever's shooting at them.
Be careful. I think there's a chopper that had land to your northeast.
Sending my squad out to try to find that radio.
Hey, helicopters, whenever you could, you scan for enemy armor locations?
So what that squad leader just said, helos, their main roles are in the beginning trying to get their infantry to the mid caps to set up fobs and quote unquote defend the potential mid cap in the beginning of the game. After they create that one fob, the helo can either scout throughout the map, look for other enemy lodges or armor, and mark that on the map, give callouts on command comms so that friendly armor knows what's going on. And another thing, of course, the main thing helos do is resupply fobs. I generally don't recommend helos doing attack fobs since they're louder and easier to see. And then once you get that attack fob set up with a helo, usually it would go down within a couple minutes. Either try to get a logi to stealth, like
hey, do you want to switch with my guys in the logi?
Logi to
if you want to take the logi and my guys get in that PMV.
Get the hab up instead of getting the helo to do it.
Barn here on the south side.
So I believe that's squad 9 that's finally on Homestead right now. And I'm telling my guys with the logi to meet up with me. My thinking is to get another spawn point, whether it be
most
a rally
common
or
spots
a
for hab would be here, here, and I think here.
So those diamonds I just marked, they're big enough to hold a hab to protect it from an airstrike. So those are the most common spawn points for East Mowgli. And of course, habs can be placed anywhere with level terrain, but usually these 3 buildings are the most common. And also squad leaders like to put it kind of like in between buildings.
Thank you, Gamble. Appreciate that.
To proxy a hab, you need 2 infantry 20 meters from a hab, up to 8 infantry 80 meters to hab. And how you can tell whether you're 20/80 meters away is to have your squad leader put a move mark on their hab.
Either get in the logi or in the PMV.
On the bottom of the compass. I'll do it right now in game. Example, let's just say move mark on these rocks right here. That way, if there was a hab, let's just do the bridge actually so you can see easier. Let's just say there's a hab on that bridge. Then if you get on the player's point of view, they only have to be 20 meters of this hab. And then up to 80 meters when you have 8 infantry. So my guys right now, of course, our hab is right here in this barn. My guys are quickly pushing through this terrain right here. They're most likely going to get contact on this south part of this East Mowgli. And you're going to see in a minute or so where their hab is actually on this northern building. And so when you're in game and you're kind of new to the game, you can use the map to kind of see what the terrain looks like. Don't try to run through this open field. You have this whole western tree line. If you want to waste your time on this eastern tree line, it's not as much coverage, but try to use the tree line or whatever terrain in the situation is to swoop around, flank, and get to their hab. If you kill their spawn points, then it's easier to grab a flag. And in this instance, it's not a flag right now, but if you kill their spawn point, then the enemies can't respawn in this general area until a squad leader or another squad leader creates a new spawn point.
Talk to squad 9 leader, see if it's okay to take the PMV from him.
So what I'm talking right there is, in my mind, that 9 leader is an infantry squad leader, and he benefits from having a logi so he can create spawn points. I just see right now where he has his own logi finally, so that wasn't necessary. But usually I try to give logi to infantry squad leaders so they can create spawn points for the team. So West Novo's finally shown that as our second flag. Whatever squad you are, I know my squad right now, we're dealing with this western side, but whoever's close to the relevant flag, you need to quickly get on the zone to start capping it. An example of 8 and my squad were fighting whatever, we need to get 1 or 2 guys to stop attacking and to get on the flag, because capturing the flag right now is more important than a gunfight. You may kill some enemies, but if you kill their spawn point and no one's taken the relevant flag, this neutral flag right now, and then you're wasting time for the enemies to grab their back caps, and then you're potentially making this West Novo the mid cap, well, the active objective. So always try to push these neutral flags, get on the zone and start capping it.
Does that mean it's going to be West Lane?
Heli, can you come pick us up?
Are we sure the heli went?
So like I said earlier, West Lane is less common for Yeho, and that's why I had my guys kind of cover it just in case it was. This quarry right here, if I had enough time, I would have a few guys already on quarry, just so that once we capture West Nova, we can immediately start capping quarry. And since we don't have anyone right now, quarry is a potential flag, and then Mowgli's are a potential flag. And of course, if you use squad lanes, then it would help show you kind of where it's going right now. So in this instance, it's going to be mid and east, quarry, and this whole western side is not relevant at all. This whole western side is not relevant at all. We just need to focus on these potential mid caps right now.
Here? Oh yeah, I see their hab. It's north. It's on the north side. On the north 7 mark.
So there it is. My squad was saying that the hab is marked. Was seen at that northern house.
Hab's there. Yeah.
Enemy hab accurate.
Command, you want us to put a...
Now, depending on the situation, potentially this 8 Aslav can help push and kill this hab with us. But I believe right now the most common tactic for the Russians is to get their BTRs and use this kind of main road. So I believe this 8 Aslav is just waiting for their armor to push.
Yeah, it's out in the open. Alright, where do you want this logic going?
So as squad leaders, once a hab or some kind of emplacement, whether it be mortars, ammo crates, MG nest, tows, whatever, a radio, or only a radio can be pressed down. And I know this is not going to work, I don't think. Let's see, need a admin force. I don't have a logic near me, but back to the game. There's only most emplacements except sandbags and I believe razor wire. Those are given to engineers. So other emplacements that you see, go ahead and put a fob creation mark, this yellow mark that with the radio mark, and then within that inner circle will be the radio. Now, it doesn't mean the hab is going to be within that because you're looking for the radio within that 150 meter. But once you find that radio, you can dig it down. The hab won't be spawnable on that first layer when you dig the radio down. And then when you fully dig it down, it has a 1 minute bleed out timer. And then once it's fully gone, then the enemy loses 20 tickets.
Meet up with Nova.
So squad leaders, FTLs, always mark. FTLs, you can use the radio mark. You can use the radio mark and it will kind of give like a temporary kind of like fob creation.
You on Nova?
So I'll actually show that right now. If you put this radio mark down and you hover over it, it'll show where the radio could be compared to a squad leader fob creation mark.
Yeah, I don't care.
So my goal right now is try to get to West Novo, try to start the cap. We have Squad 4 light vehicle
everyone in the north,
getting on the flag as well. Mark. The more players you have on the zone, the faster it caps.
Medic will meet up with me for rally.
Yep.
So the reason being, you always want to have more than one spawn point. Right now, we have this helo kind of like crashed on our hab. The enemy, when the enemies landed, of course they knew where we landed, so they potentially have those enemies flanking around getting to our hab. And I'm just trying to set up a spawn point for the team since West Novo's kind of like the second flag. So I'm trying to get more guys to help secure the area and never rely on one spawn point. Kind of what I was saying, if the enemies are flanking, they could easily kill this hab right now since it's not protected at all. We have that pilot right now that's distracted trying to repair his helo right now, so that I really don't consider him a defender. And once we lose those 20 tickets and that radio, the hab, then we have no other spawn points. So that's why I'm trying to get my Logi or any other squad leader Logi to try to get ready for West Novo.
And then if we get in the Logi,
most games you play Yeho, there'll always be a squad ready with an east or a western hab for Novos.
Flag. I'm assuming.
And that's what I'm saying. Kind of rare to see where no one's set up for Novo.
Quarry. I'm not sure.
So luckily we have that 4 light vehicle. They're on West Novo, so I don't have to worry about it. You'll know when you're on zone when it starts flashing on the map, but also on top right of your screen it'll show the flag. That way you know you're actually on the zone. So BTR
Watch out,
just
AT,
marked.
You got a BTR mark to your far east.
And whether that BTR mark is accurate or not,
if y'all want to
try to relay information to other squad leaders and to your squad,
give up,
especially your
rally
AT
or
and riflemen, so they can get ready for that.
Enemy Mech on us, squad 5, squad 4, above us.
So on command comms, you can actually use direct comms to other squad leaders on your numpad. So if you're a new squad leader or new squad player, I recommend getting a full-size keyboard instead of those like half-size or whatever they're called without the numpad. Always get a keyboard with a numpad, because on the numpad, the 0 is direct to commander, and then 1 through 9 is towards the squad leaders. The reason being is this example, this 2 and 5 communicating right now. Right now in game, I believe they're kind of towards the overpass bridge, fighting either a tank or whatever. And so right now it's not relevant to what the rest of the team is doing. And I know they're kind of panicking, so they're hitting that G key. But if you need to relay information to a specific squad and you don't need to use the command comms, just use the numpad to direct comm. So they are on the overpass bridge, far north.
Radio.
So what I'm placing right now is called a rally point, and that's only for your squad. Insurgents is the only faction where they can do what's called buddy rally, and that means you can spawn on other squads' rallies. Another thing you want to do is whenever a squad leader creates his, puts down his rally, look at the time that he placed it. So example, if I put it at 1:49:40, then most times your rally is a 1 minute, let's do a different color, is a 1 minute kind of like cooldown spawn time, unless you have a penalty, either you team killed, or if you got picked up and you got killed immediately. I think there's like penalties, so it increases. But generally you have a 1 minute timer. So if I put mine down at 1:49, then the next one is going to be 1:48:40 would be the next time that my squad can spawn on the rally.
Logi, come towards rally. Head to the far west of the tree line. Don't go inside the city.
So just giving call out to my Logi over here. He's on this eastern side. The reason being, you have this BTR marked. You have potentially enemies in this whole kind of north of Novo. I would not recommend, let's clear this. I would not recommend him trying to like swoop around the north. He needs to move on this southern side. So always as squad players, open your map every 10-15 seconds. People create marks on the map, and that way it helps you know what's going on in the game.
I'm going to meet up with Logi.
Copy, we're engaging.
Logi driver, don't go north, turn around.
Hit him again.
Grand.
Good shit.
Both, we got it.
I'm on it, man. I'm on it.
So what our armor just said, they just killed both tanks. That's a 30 ticket plus whatever infantry they had inside. Usually it's 2 to 3 crewmen each. So those are high asset tickets that we gain.
If you spawn Hab, stay there for a minute.
And when I mean gained, in the sense that the enemies lost those 30 tickets, 36-ish tickets.
It may be the next flag.
So right now I'm just trying to meet up with the Logi.
Or Mogs. Up there
So
it is.
Mowgli's just shown. So a thing to know about this neutral flag right now. Let's wait for the map. Let's get it where it shows Mowgli, or Eastern Mowgli.
I'm assuming it's either going to be.
So once the flag is shown, there's two type of scenarios that are going on right here. Either the enemies did not grab their back caps, and so now we are on our neutral third flag, and we only need at least one person to start the cap. That's one scenario. Another scenario is they did capture their back cap, their example, let's just say this was their third flag. They already captured it. Now we're in what's called the mid cap, and the enemies, when you're on the mid cap, you need to how should I say it? You need to have more players than the enemies are on the flag. When you're on a mid cap now, where the enemies have it and your team is on the mid cap, you need to have 3 infantry to start the cap. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it's 3 infantry to start the cap now, and you need to have 1 body more than the enemies. So let's say, for example, let's say the enemies had 3 on the flag. Your team is going to need to have 4 or more guys to start the cap. I could be saying that wrong, but I believe once it's mid cap, you need to get more bodies than the enemies on the zone. And of course, we do have this enemy hab to take care of, and I would, in my mind, I'm thinking we need to swoop around somewhere to get another spawn point, whether it be a hab or a rally. You need to swoop around and get another spawn point up, kill the enemy hab, and then we can take Mowgli easier. And I always recommend killing spawn points first.
Or Mogs. Up there it is. Smokes.
So right when it got shown, you saw that quick blue flash. We only have 1 guy right now on the zone, so that means that they are behind their back caps, and we can easily grab this with 1 guy right now.
Nice.
So an example being, even if they had 5 infantry, let's just say the enemies had 5 infantry right now on the flag, with just our 1 guy on the zone, because it's our neutral flag, it's not the enemy's mid cap, we can grab this flag with 1 guy. And so, kind of to give an easier kind of description, let's go back to let's just say the first flag, just so you can understand this a lot easier. Let's just say over here is the first flag that you have to grab. It does not matter how many enemies are on the flag, as long as you just have 1 guy on zone that's hiding away from, let's just say, a whole squad. You can still capture that flag if it's a neutral flag. If it's a contested flag, then that changes towards the extra body you need to capture the zone.
10 seconds on rally.
So right now, I'm trying to get a fob on the western side.
Up here on Mowgli.
Yeah, it's just me.
If you see on the map, there's a BTR, AT/riflemen need to start heading over there. I recommend riflemen always sticking with their AT, that way they can resupply. Another thing I would recommend is getting ammo crates towards the perimeter of the fob creation. So let's just say, example, this lat over here, if he needed to get ammo, he's closer to the edge of the circle instead of running all the way to the hab for the ammo.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to push up a little farther north.
If you're on zones, just hide. Just stealth cap it, don't fight them.
So that's what I'm saying. We're capturing East Mowgli right now. It is potentially where the enemies can finally finish their back cap and then contest us. But until that happens, right now it's priority for these players right now to stay on the zone and try to cap as much as they can before the enemies finish their back cap.
Just cap the flag, more important. This Logi. I meant north and south. Dang, ring around on the Rosie.
There's no stealth cap.
We're going to go.
Okay, so Okay, not yet,
repair, you
but
can head to that
how
repair
you can
station.
tell whether you lose the stealth cap, I believe it starts turning red, I believe.
Go far west.
Or the blue just stops
got
flashing,
a
then you'll know it's actual mid cap.
Why don't you go to west?
Usually I would drive the Logi,
Oh, looks like
because one, you don't know who the driver is, you don't know his map knowledge, and two, as a squad leader, you kind of have a thinking of where you want to set your fob up. So generally I would recommend squad leaders driving.
The enemy hab is on the north of Moog.
Command, I'm at West Nova if you want me to drop us.
So if that marksman was still on the zone and it's still white, that means it's no longer a neutral flag, it's now a mid cap.
Yes, you can.
Or a contested flag.
Bear, go ahead, get on the flag. Try to get on zone, Bear, quickly.
Gonna hit a leg.
So in my mind, I'm probably thinking right now it's still a neutral flag, and that's why I'm telling him to get on the zone.
Hey, Squad 4, what got you?
But of course, if it's a contested flag, it doesn't matter if you have only one guy now. You have to have more than one of the enemy to start the cap.
Hey, Squad 4, what killed you in that Logi?
I'm only going to need Doctor to stick with me.
Hit a road, go left.
So what I'm saying, engineer, I want engineer to build once we get to our destination, and have the rest of whatever is in my infantry to get on the zone, or at least proxy their
I
hab.
only have like a small squad there. Like they're not even capping yet. They probably they're behind on back cap.
So it's a great thing what Smitty just said. If the enemy had captured their back caps, then they should already be capturing East Mowgli since they were already on there. So what Smitty just said, it's a great point. It's still a neutral flag right now for us. We only need one guy to start the cap.
No answer.
So remember, neutral flags, at minimum one guy to cap. A contested / mid cap, you need to have one body more than the enemy, and a minimum of 3 guys.
Stop, I need everyone to get out, head to flag, I only need Doctor with me.
So I should be saying this in local chat right now.
Hey, Tiger, you don't have to get as super close as possible with your ground troops. Like, you're like so like scaring me.
Okay, go ahead, stop it.
I'm trying to join you, Bears.
And that's what I was talking about.
So whenever you're in a situation like this, where you're not in, like when you're in a forest area, always try to put your radio in a dense bush so it's harder to see. Of course, enemies within 5-10 or so meters can hear the radio noise, but it's harder, for example, the commander UAV or a person driving by to see the radio in a bush. So always, when you're in a forest kind of setting, put it in bushes, and if possible, you kind of see it in this. This is a common hab placement on West Mowgli, and I generally wouldn't put it in a area that's common where most squad players know where a hab is going to be. They're going to check the most common spots. So
flag, everyone to flag.
New squad players, you don't know, but try to put it away from, example, buildings.
Alrighty, who was ever in that squad?
Dump that Logi, medic, go ahead, dump that Logi. 6 or 7 construction.
Squad 4 just suited that freaking PMB.
So this kind of seems like a good location. It's kind of like in this little dip where potentially people can't see it from that school building I was just saying. Of course, it's still not too far from the radio.
That's fine. Try to get on the flag quickly. I'm going to get Doctor.
But probably in my mind, I'm probably thinking that they probably have a secondary spawn location on West Mowgli, and that's probably why I'm not trying to put it anywhere near those buildings.
To get a northern hab up.
So there it is. The flag just turned red. That means the enemies are now capping it. So you need to have 3+
head to flag.
Friendlies on the zone to start capping it. And another thing I should have done is to get this Logi. Always try to move your Logi away from your radio. Another side note for new squad leaders, you need to be 30 meters, I believe it's 30 meters away from the Logi to place the radio. So you don't need to be directly next to the Logi to place the radio. And I think what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to create an ammo crate. You see on this top left, it says 100 construction. So I think that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm getting ammo crates so that these guys, if they need to, can easily grab ammo quicker. I think that's what I'm doing right now. Otherwise, normally I would grab that logi.
I will try to get another northern hab. Doctor, go ahead, get in the logi. I'll meet up with you.
Hindsight, probably not the best place. Possibly I should have put it directly closer to the perimeter side. Back to squad leading. I'm getting the engineer and me back in the logi, and I'm going to try to get a northern fob set up. And you'll hear a lot of complaints about what's called fob spamming, and it is true. You have all these undefended, you have, let's just say, 3 undefended radios. That's 20 tickets each. And you'll see where some people will just have only, like, let's just say 2 radios, and then they would defend those radios. So it is a good argument of having better fob locations over more spawn locations. It just depends on the enemy players you have, the enemy team, and your team. Another thing is, what if you will see most common where infantry squad leaders, they only place 1 fob, and then they leave the logi next to the radio, and then the infantry squad leader goes ahead and does his own thing. You'll see in this gameplay where I try to stick with the logi, and I try to like strategize for my squad and have them do the actual task instead of being an actual infantry leader.
Enemy heli.
So I just want to show you this real quick. What and also I guess I should have said this in the beginning. If you don't know how to get in this kind of like training range and open the map, like change the layer, I'll link it in the beginning of the video where you can actually go on throughout all the maps and their layers, and then you can either practice placing fobs or stuff like that. So I believe I placed my fob, my hab, somewhere around like right here. This is the school building I was telling about earlier. It's common for people, I think there's a basement inside that people like to put their habs in. It's a common location. Right now I'm having our team is attacking this East Mowgli right now. The enemy hab is right there on the north. We have 1 fob over there. We have another one right there, and I'm planning to get a fob towards like this northwestern of this enemy hab. So that's what we're dealing with right now. So you'll see kind of like all this terrain. As long as the infantry use this like kind of like tree line to swoop around instead of using, let's just say, instead of just 1 direct pass, you can use these tree lines to flank around, and then you can easily, let's just say, attack from this tree line, get to these buildings, proxy their hab enough where they can't spawn in no more, kill the infantry around it, and then you can get to wherever their radio is and then kill the radio for the 20 tickets.
On Mowgli.
So
enemy chopper.
Use your auditory cues. That's just if you hear a vehicle, whether it be a land vehicle or a helo, open your map, look in the direction that you hear it from. If there's not a friendly icon there, then it's an enemy.
Enemy heli on Mowgli.
Enemy chopper south.
It's
so I should have been more clear. You don't want to give just vague south, north, east, west. Always try to say relevance to what it is. So example, heli south of East Mowgli, just stuff like that.
And yeah.
Or if you don't know the name of the flag, you can say south of defense, south of attack, south of our Delta 5 fob, stuff like that.
Over.
And you'll see, like, I just noticed this 6th pilot has been there since the beginning when he crash landed. If you don't know already, let me go back to in-game. Hit the console button, type in respawn, and then I believe it's like a 2 or 3 minute penalty. Of course, you lose the ticket, but as a pilot, he should have either several ways. You can either type in respawn and lose wait the 3 minutes or so, or you can push the contact, get killed, and then you have like a 35-45 respawn timer. And I'm only saying that because he's a pilot and he should be doing his responsibilities of either dropping ammo, supplies for the fobs, or whatever, reconning with his helo, stuff like that.
That enemy hab was on the north of East Moog.
So I'm not really sure what these guys on the western are doing.
We're going to go far west.
Maybe they were trying to set up for the next flag, which would be a great thing to do. But as squad lanes showed, the whole western part of the map is not relevant. It is potential that the enemies had a fob there, but I'm just saying in the sense of where the flags could be.
Flank west and then get towards that Charlie mark.
So there's a chopper overhead. How you can tell whether it's enemy shooting you or friendly fire, you're going to have this suppression effect. If you have the suppression effect, that's enemy. If you're getting shot at, and there's no suppression effect, then it's friendly shooting you.
Enemy chopper over Mowgli. If we get someone to shoot at it.
PTR is still east. Another one.
Yeah, there's another one.
So another thing you have to think of
hey,
about
Grant, if you have an
squad
angle,
leaders,
try to shoot the tail
and I
rotor
should
of the
say
chopper
squad
shooting
players,
us.
we are about to lose East Mowgli, and the question is, do we have anybody on our quote-unquote new defense flag? So East Mowgli is not captured right now, but once it is, because we don't really have anybody on the zone right now, it is going to be captured. Who's going to be on your defense flag? And I know once I have the map, I'll show you. We know that East Mowgli is going to be captured because we have nobody on the zone. So who's going to be on the previous flag / the new defense flag? You need to get a squad or so to get ready for your new relevant objectives. So if it was a different situation where we were grabbing East Mowgli, example, let's just say we were the Russians, we're capturing East Mowgli, we need to get a squad or so to get ready for whatever the next flag is. And so most common is Novo / Airfield for the next flag. And so if it's guaranteed we're about to capture that, we need to get ready to get the next flag so that the enemy team / defending team is not ready for us to quickly press them.
Not accurate, Mark. He's just on the west side. Thank you. That's nice driving. I for sure would have hit the trees.
Oh, it's mostly pucker factor and luck.
They're pushing towards me.
So whenever you're trying to call out something's on you, always use your gamer tag or your role. So example, let's just say Chef was the one who said it. Just say enemy on Chef or tank on Chef or whatever, hab on Chef. Or if you want, just say because on me, the symbol that showed that who's talking goes away quickly. So always give yourself in third person reference, so the squad leader or the other players know who it is. And just a side note, you can click on a person's name and it will highlight them. So let's just say the medic. Let's just say you click on the medic like in game, then he's going to start highlighting on the map, and then you'll know exactly, or it's easier to see where he is in the game.
I'm so fucking sorry, squad. That was me.
I had to use the restroom. Just go to the move mark.
Yep. Try to get on flag.
Yeah, there is an enemy squad.
I'm trying to get this north hab up.
BTR over here.
Okay.
So I guess kind of where I failed as a squad leader, I should have, because I'll say this, I'm always like in the heat of the moment, I'm not thinking of what the team needs right now. I'm trying to focus on what my squad is doing. But as a better squad leader, I should have been communicating with other squads, try to get them to get ready for the new defense flag or get ready for the East Mowgli push towards Novo.
Anywhere where we find a good
like,
thick bush line, maybe like over here.
So as a new squad leader slash player, this gray circle right here means a radio cannot be placed down in that zone. You have to do it outside this gray circle, but kind of like this example right here. So this radio can be placed right here, and now you can create a fob within that gray circle. So you can create your new hab right there. So no, radios can't pass that gray circle, but your emplacements can.
Yeah, they have a
Tank, what's going on?
And then we'll push the hab
like a route?
further east.
We're at 25%
There's 2 tanks.
hull, so we're just trying to help out. Yeah, you gotta ask which one, dude.
Tiger.
Yeah.
Close top. North.
Tiger on
I'm
the north of
track.
Mowgli.
I'm preparing my track right now.
So as squad, like FTLs and squad leaders, kind of what that squad mate just said, there's a Tiger. I'm always giving out relevant information to the rest of the team, marking it on the map so they can see exactly where it is.
Damn, I'm still in the circle. Yeah, I need to head. We're going to go towards this bush line.
So remember, Logi, I believe, is 30 meters
Meet me
away
with
from the
the
Logi.
north.
Then you can place the radio. And so the bad thing right now is we're creating too much noise. Let me get back to the map. And that is just a gunshot. Let me get to the map and then I'll show you.
Infantry on observe.
So we're creating so much noise that the guy on the hab, maybe they're kind of have like my plan of where you have like 360 coverage. You always want to never expect the enemy to push from one angle. Always have 360 defense, kind of like what I'm doing now. I swooped around. I'm going to put this hab up. If you had these guys over here watching this angle, then they already heard my Logi, and then us moving it even more than we should have in the beginning, it causes more noise and it delays us putting a spawn point down.
Infantry on observe.
So always have 360 defense, either on a hab / flag. Never expect the enemies to push from one. Never expect the enemies to push from one angle. When you unload a Logi, always do construction first so that the squad leader can put the hab down and then unload the ammo.
Enemy Logi.
Usually for a hab, I wonder if this works. A hab is 500 for most factions. Militia and insurgents is, I believe, 100. But most common is 500 for your factions for the hab, and then you're going to need 100 more for the ammo crate. So if you want to, you can do, example, 500 for hab and 200 construction for your ammo crate. So you can have one next to the hab and then one kind of closer to the perimeter of the circle for each fob. So about 700 construction per fob and then X amount of ammo.
We're at 25%.
And what this placement is pretty bad. It's pretty much in the open. Let's go in game. I believe I was somewhere, I think over here somewhere. So you'll see this is pretty much open. I believe somewhere around right here I placed the fob, and you'll see how open this is. The helo comes from, see where that like river is, their spawn points over there. Their helo / tigers or whatever is going to roll in this direction straight from their spawn point towards East Mowgli, and my hab is kind of in the open where they can easily see it, and then we're going to lose those 20 tickets. So whenever you're creating a fob, you kind of want to put it somewhere like in this forest where it's harder to see, or somewhere that's covered by terrain. That way you don't lose that hab as quickly.
Okay.
Enemy Logi coming north of Mowgli. 2 lodges.
And so auditory cue, it heard a logi from the north. I will say Russian logis have a distinct sound.
2 lodges.
If you need to, go to the training range and drive it, and you'll hear it, and then you'll know.
Got a squad in there. Hey Grant, if you want to
wipe a squad, you'll see there'd be more people in the back, but there is usually 3 people are in the front, and then the fourth seat's standing up. So this is the guys in the 5th seat.
About this logi on observe.
The minimum 2 people right now. And usually when there's a logi, it's usually a squad leader in there. And so my mind right now is to try to kill this squad leader / logi, stop them from setting up their fob.
Yeah, there's an enemy logi coming on the west of East Smoke. Did you shoot the driver out?
BTR destroyed. I'm not that good, man. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, so what the machine gunner just said, the driver got away, and now we have to worry about this whole western side. Of course, the driver could swoop around towards East Novo, but in my mind, I'm thinking he's trying to prepare for East Mowgli.
Also, this
I'm going to get this logi out of here.
Does not have a tripod, which kind of sucks.
Hey, Steven, are you clear up there?
So far, there were infantry on the south house, and there was a logi that went west towards Squad 9.
Alright, I'm going to come in and bring you some ammo.
Squad 9, be careful your northeast. With that PMV, there was a logi that went that way. Don't know where he went to.
So, kind of what I said, always call out the information to other squad leaders.
Towards, our
That's what I'm doing right now.
H12.
And if this 8 leader was kind of paying attention, he would probably send out a few of his guys to kind of like scout to see where that logi headed / auditory / find their hab / radio.
Yeah, there's a vehicle over by H12 right now.
Yeah, they got a tow to the far southeast, so if you're leaving Maine, careful. It's missed me twice now.
So, if you do not know already, whenever you put a diamond down, it will show the coordinates underneath that. So if you need to give like a quick reference to.
We'll take care of that.
And so kind of what the Tiger said. Or I'm sorry, PMV.
Is that PMV still over here on East Muggy?
So I just want to give a quick show of this. There are no defenders right now on Novo. Yes, we have a tank right here resupplying right now. We have infantry northwest of it and this squad north of it. But generally, we don't have, generally speaking, we have no one actually like protecting our defense. You always want to have 360 coverage because like I said, a squad leader can easily place a hab in any direction. Let's just say in this direction. Always want to look in other directions in case a squad leader flanked around, created a fob, and then you would have to worry about this whole southern side of them pushing. So 360 visual on defense, spread your guys out about 100 or so meters off flag so you can make contact with them. If they die, they can easily spawn back on the hab in time and try to stop them from killing your spawn point. And so as far if you're the enemy in this situation right now, you only need 3 guys to get on zone to start capping it. And of course, the more people you have, the faster it goes. But the minimum you need is 3 guys right now to start that cap.
Is there any armor I need to know about? I'm up on the north side of Mogi.
So it's kind of risky what this pilot is doing on this northern fob. If they had a Tiger, BTR, or whatever, he can easily be shot down right now. So, let's delete this. I believe my hab is somewhere like right here. So this whole northern side, where am I? If you don't know, you can use your scroll wheel to move your camera faster. So let's say kind of where that house is, to the south of that, my hab is somewhere around there. Their spawn point towards that river. They will be using kind of like this main road right here. And they can easily see the chopper hovering around here, and they could shoot that chopper down with whatever vehicle they have right now, whether it be a Tiger or a BTR, or if their armor one it is set up. Least common, but it will happen sometimes, is on this western part hill. They'll get toes up or have their tanks on that western hill. So kind of map knowledge of trying to be careful where you place your spawn point / habs, so that the enemies don't have like a line of sight on it from the distance. So that's what I'm just referring to, that helo. I'm kind of like, if I was that helo pilot, I wouldn't have done that. What the helo pilot should have done is, you can resupply the southern habs, and then, example, my Logi can either grab those supplies and then head back and drop off those supplies. That way we don't lose that helo. Just saw this right now. Whoever placed that hab, they should have dug it down, because that's a 20 ticket loss. This squad 4, if you got killed or the driver disconnected, whatever the reason being, you need to get a few guys to recover that Logi or blow it up. Depending on the situation, if you're low on tickets, you need to recover it. If you have enough tickets, like over 200 or so, then blow it up, have it respawn, whatever the situation. If it's disabled or whatever, just blow it up, have it respawn for the 5 tickets. Awesome. If you don't know about the respawn timer, you can click this and then just go in game. You can click this and then it'll show the time of it to respawn.
Is that accurate, North?
So I want to give a quick thing about this too. This hinders the team because this is about, well, because I believe there's 2 helos. That's what, 1/5 of your logistics. Another one right here. Another one right here not being used. I mean, he may have used it right now, but in the game sense of, he drove his Logi to this point, he created his hab, and then the squad leader himself went to the flag to fight, leaving the Logi next to the radio, and then that Logi not being used for either resupplying or getting ready for next flag, whatever the situation arises. I would never, like me personally, I'm always like tied to a Logi. If my Logi gets destroyed, I would either try to make contact and then wait for my Logi to respawn. Either I grab the Logi or have someone grab the Logi for me. I'm always tied to a Logi, so I can resupply my team and create spawn points for my team. And of course we have 2 helos, but helos can be shot down, be spotted easier. I don't recommend using helos for the attack fobs. I would use them for either scouting or resupplying the kind of like back fobs, and then using Logis to resupply.
If y'all need to spawn that north hab.
Flags. So what I'm saying, I know I'm rambling on, but generally I do not expect this northern fob to survive. I already have the feeling that the enemies are going to see easy, because 1, the helo's there, 2nd, their helo can see it. The main purpose of this hab was for these people to spawn in and attack their hab. That was the main purpose. As a squad leader, I should have told these other squad leaders to do that. You'll see they just keep spawning in one location. They keep attacking from one direction. It's good that we have this other one to attack from. But if we were able to get a mass spawn right here, we can easily have gotten into this hab. Kill this hab, you kill their spawn points, you could take the spawn, the cap easier.
And then try to kill that hab on the north of Mowgli.
So I think right now what I'm doing is I'm heading to the southern fob. I'm going to wait for resupplies, and as a squad leader, I'm just looking at the game overall, like overview of the game. Try to redirect my guys if I need to.
If we could get choppers,
you'll see a lot of times where infantry squad leaders, like this 4 and 8, they always they're more focused on fighting, and it's up to their playstyle. If you're an infantry squad leader, you're either doing what I'm doing, where I'm helping create spawn points, redirecting my squad, trying to kill spawn points. If I had a hat and several AT, I would try to get them to kill armor, whatever the situation is. You'll see other squad leaders where they're actual infantry. And the reason I'm not like infantry as a squad leader is because you have the 8 other guys that can kill infantry. The reason as a squad leader, in my opinion, is I'm the only, in the sense of squad leader role, I'm the only one in my squad that can help the team create radios, spawn points, create rallies for the squad, like anybody can resupply, and then also kind of like look at the overview of the game and try to direct my guys to attack, either from a better direction or whether it's a vehicle, hab, or the flag. Try to get my guys to redirect or attack from a better angle.
514, what do you want, builder or ammo?
Both.
So the reason I said both is I'm preparing for the future. Whether we lose all these habs, then if you lose
that
your
tank
spawn
is shooting that
points,
tank.
if you lose that spawn points, then you're going to need the supplies in your lodges to create new ones.
Sorry, the hab.
So, and I know I'm just rambling on here, but this tank right here, he's shooting down the hab. I don't know the amount of tank rounds it needs to take down a hab, but it will take a while. Once the hab is down one layer, the infantry needs to quickly push that so the enemies don't rebuild that hab. If you get them to where the spawn can't be spawned in, you need to quickly push it, find that radio, kill the radio, and then you can take this flag a lot easier.
To quickly push that hab, guys, on the move mark.
So remember, you have these open fields.
I don't expect that new hab on north to survive long.
Another thing I should have done was get a few of my guys to kind of get close to that tank, or in a sense of looking the opposite direction right now so that he doesn't get shot in the rear.
Heli over you, landing.
So the reason I told that 5, I believe, and I could be wrong, maybe the 3rd seat gun probably has an angle where he can shoot the gunner. Another thing you can do is get your AR guys, so your machine gunner / ARs, they can try to shoot the tail rotor and get that helo down. Because those helos right now, there's 2 things that helo could be doing. Either the helo is resupplying this fob right here, or he's scouting it. He's going to put a map down. Where's the game? This command request. Let's just say the tank was. Let's just say the tank was there. The squad lead, the pilot, he can go over it and then put a request down, and then the commander can airstrike that tank, stuff like that. And so that's why I'm trying to relay that information to the tank, so he's not stationary too long, he doesn't get airstriked, or so that other enemy armor / enemy AT hat especially kills him from the rear. And I'm assuming he probably has his 3rd seat gunner probably looking behind him. So how you can tell whether you're driving on the zone if you're not looking at the map is the top left. Top left will show you whether you're in that blue circle now. I will want to kind of like quick talk about this. How you can tell whether your spawn is down is it'll say spawn inactive. That just means the hab was either dug down a layer or dug down. Another thing is this blue bar here on the top left. If you see a red circle going from left to right, counterclockwise, that's your radio timer. This blue bar should already be depleted, maybe like 5 health-ish. So let's just say you had 5 health on the radio, and then you see this like red circle going counterclockwise. That's the timer of your radio bleed out. So that's just a little game mechanic right there. And of course your ammo and then your construction points. So I'm looking at this right now. We still have this 9 leader and his Logi still like right there.
Quickly get to.
And I'm assuming he's creating something because
move
usually when a squad leader is next to a player, they're building something.
Get the flag.
Still no defenders at all on West Novo. You'll either have two type of games. One game where the defender / attacking team will go back and forth along this straight line between the attack and defense flags. You'll have a lot of games like that. Or you're going to have games where you have smart squad leaders that build spawn points around the objectives and then attack from different directions. Stuff like that. So those are the two most common scenarios that would happen.
So there's a hab on move mark, you said?
Correct. What killed you, Bears?
It seemed like AT or machine gun or something. Yeah.
Try to spot it, Smitty.
The tank should take it out.
So I'm not sure whether he said the tank took it out or should take it
Chef
out.
and brother, get 20 meters of that move mark so that you proxy the hab.
Squad lead, you want to let Squad 5 know he's got company and armor somewhere over there?
Possible armor to your north.
And so kind of what I said, I gave Smitty the role of FTL for him to kind of like look in this general direction to help spot so I can relay that information to this 5 tanker.
Smitty, please go north and try to get recon for our 5 tanker. And go
what I did also for these 2 guys here, like I said, 2 infantry, up to 8 infantry. So 2 infantry up to 20 meters, 8 infantry up to 80 meters. If we were able to get these guys just to swoop around, kind of like what these 2 guys did, or attack from, let me clear all this. Either attack from this direction or attack from this direction. If you had 8 guys, you can easily proxy that hab and then kill the infantry around it. They can't spawn in anyways. And then get on that radio and kill the radio. So like I said, most people will always spawn on the hab and go direct to the flag. So always try to get a few of your guys to swoop around, flank, and then attack from a different angle.
If you see anything.
Priority is always to kill the hab.
Just stay 20 meters of that move mark, guys.
I was killing the
kill the radio, get on flag.
Wayne.
So you'll see this whole, pretty much the whole team finally kind of like coordinating in a sense. We have like this whole flag covered right now.
Radio is in the west,
southern and eastern sides getting surrounded. From what it looks like, we should get Mowgli, but the problem is no one's on defense. This whole time, so at least 3 of these enemies could have at least taken defense
Radio
flag.
is on the western building north.
And how you can tell if your defense flag is falling is when the blue diamond turns red. That's when the flag starts getting taken down or starts getting captured.
The rest of the team is about to proxy it. Don't give.
On your defense flag, there's a blue bar under it to show the cap status.
But make it up soon.
So there, it's right there. You'll see this blue bar status right under the flag icon. You'll see how much time you have left before it gets neutral.
What killed you, Grand?
So he's talking, but nothing's coming out. Either he's muted or his mic.
PMV, be careful, his west friendly just died. Tell Colin, watch his west friendly just died.
So always relaying information to other squads. And it's possible he can't hear right now. Maybe he's in a gunfight. Or I know squad leaders, it gets hectic. You're listening to your squad comms. You're listening to command comms. And then you have your local chat. And then and some players will have their Discord open. And it'll be kind of hectic to hear what's going on. And as a new squad leaders, you're going to get confused about what your squad is. Example, mine squad 7. So people will get confused who squad 9 is. Like example, I'm calling squad 9. You can direct comm them and it'll show on the bottom left their gamer tag, but it is buggy. I believe if the original squad leader left, it'll show the old squad leader. So stuff like that, it gets buggy. So if you need to use the kind of like this menu, it's called deployment menu, I'm not sure, and then you can minimize your squad and then you can see all the squads and their squad leader's name, stuff like that.
Sorry, your mic's muted. Still can't hear you.
So if the squad 4 leader saw this infantry mark down, if he heard, well, I didn't say it over command, I think I directed 9, but if I said it over command comms or I told 4 on direct comms to have a few guys scout that out, because that, if there's one infantry there, he usually came from a spawn point, and you want to kill these spawn points before they do like a mass spawn wave, and then quickly push our flag and potentially kill all these spawn points right here as well.
Infantry times 2, sorry.
Infantry.
So with him just saying 2 now, that's more of a concern, because one player could just be a straggler or some guy just running away from his squad for whatever reason. But now that there's 2 people, that's more of a warning that, or kind of like a guarantee that there is a spawn point somewhere in this direction.
Okay, north of squad 4.
We're capping.
To your northwest, you got infantry coming.
So you see the red diamond start turning blue. That means we're finally we have enough bodies on zone to capture it. On your attack flag, you cannot see the status of the flag. You have to get either your squad or another squad leader to say what the status is compared to your defense flag. So remember, your defense flag has the status of the time it gets to neutral. Attack flag will not have that. You have to say it over comms.
If you can.
So remember, I'm thinking right now they have a spawn point somewhere over here. If they had 2 infantry here, they either have a rally or a hab. And right now I'm going to relay that information to squad 5 so he can potentially look for it. And if he spots it, then I could probably get a few of my guys to go kill it.
They may have a hab somewhere on those 7 diamonds. Probably where the Logi put the hab.
Yeah, we need more people
No
pushing
problem.
them
We have
towards
to
their hab.
go to repair first, but we'll look on the way through.
Good group.
Be careful your north pop. Pop to your north and northwest.
It's gonna be another minute before we get up there.
Nice job on the flag, guys.
Alright.
So kind of what I explained earlier, this team surrounded the flag from all directions. They came from the southeast, they came from the so west, east, and the north. We surrounded that flag, able to take it. And of course, if you kill their hab, their spawn points, you can take the flag easier.
Landed on airfield south of West Salvo.
So when you're in this situation where you kind of believe you're about to grab the attack flag, gets neutraled, example, let's just say 50% until full capture, you should get a squad or 2 to get ready to head out for the new attack flag set up so that the enemy defenders aren't prepared for you getting quickly to their attack flag. Either you'll have a squad veteran on your squad or team that kind of already know where it's going to be, or if you're new to squad leading, you can use squad lanes to help you know where you should head out.
Keep an eye on
If you die, spawn I-14, meet up with squad leader.
So let me go back to squad lanes. So West Novo, East Novo. So those are the potential 4th flag location. And so either you had a veteran squad player who already knows this is the general area, or if you're new to squad leading, then this will help you know where you should head to.
Flag.
Tank to repair, so I'll keep an eye on it.
Fire, squad 2, watch out, don't shoot, squad 2.
And remember, our defense was not defended at all.
Squad 7 will get ready for next flag.
It only took a minimum of 3 of the enemy team to get on our defense, and we could have lost it.
When you die, spawn on the I-17.
And I'll say, I probably would have seen our defense failing or falling, and I probably would have gotten my guys to get to the defense flag to try to save it. Another thing I just see here, our hab is getting proxied, and it's either the radio as damaged where it can't be spawned in, or they're proxying the hab, or they took it down one layer. I believe if they take it down one layer, it just turns white. So that's just kind of what I said in the beginning. I never expected this northern fob to survive long. It was just more of to get guys to attack from a certain direction.
I-14, meet up with Squad Leader.
Thank you for holding.
So I just want to show that real quick. On the split second on the map, look at West Nova. Look at our defense.
When you die, spawn on the ice.
Look at right here. Look at this hab right here, and you're going to see what's about to happen.
I-14, meet up with Squad Leader.
It just turned red. That means the enemies just proxied it. They have a minimum 2 guys 20 meters and 8 infantry 80 meters to quickly get to proxy that hab. And that means if they killed the hab that's near the defense flag, they're about to get on your zone. And right now, I'm not worried about a double neutral. I mean, it can happen, but we should have enough guys to neutralize it first and potentially capture it. Of course, if this blue bar gets low enough and we still haven't fully capped it, then we do need to send a few more guys or a squad or so back to defense to recapture it. If you don't know, a common thing that happens on RAAS and AAS is what's called double neutral. That's when both the attack flag and your defense flag gets neutralized by both teams. What you need to do, since this is our defense flag, we need to have a minimum of 3 guys to get on zone. It does not matter if they had 10 infantry or 30 infantry on the flag. You only need 3 teammates to get on the zone, and you'll cap it back regardless of enemy count. So when double neutral happens, both flags are neutral. Your team needs to get back to the defense flag and get a minimum of 3 guys on zone. They don't need to fight, just get on zone, hide, and recapture it.
Thank you for holding fire.
So what I'm doing right now as squad leader is I'm getting ready for the new attack flag. And of course, we don't know exactly where it is, but in this general area will be the new attack flag, and that's what I'm getting ready for.
We got their hab.
And as you saw, this 4 logi, this hab still could be killed 20 tickets. This logi is still out of play. And this logi right here is not in play. You could be using these logis. You can use this logi to pick up those construction points and then head whatever direction you need for the new flag. So if an enemy sees a hab, the squad leader just needs to put this fob creation mark up. This fob creation mark. Just put it over the hab that you find, and then you'll see within that inner circle where the radio is going to be.
Okay, A squad, any heli, can we come to command? Drop a fob here.
Command, yeah, on the way. I got 1500 build.
So remember, there's a logi to their south right now. They can easily get a guy or have a guy spawn in, grab that logi, take 600 or so construction, and easily bring it to a squad leader to put the new radio down.
Yep. As long as there's no armor, we should be good.
Okay, if you die, go ahead, keep staying on defense. I'm taking these 2 guys to next flag.
I think their tanks are
So I'm just relaying it to my squad. When I'm preparing for a new attack flag, I don't need my full team there yet. I can have the guys who are still alive to quote-unquote defend the attack flag so that we can grab it faster and have a few guys to get ready for next flag.
Looks like enemy infantry are coming from the east.
Of course, it's risky in the sense of kind of what Chef is doing, double neutral. It's kind of risky what I'm doing right now. If I take my guys, let's just say this is the attack flag. Example, let's just say I have 3 guys right now, me plus 2 guys, let's just say. It is risky that when we get to the attack flag, there's going to be a lot of enemies there. And so, example, us 3 versus X amount of infantry, we're going to lose. But it's okay to lose your 5 ticket for the logi plus your 3 infantry instead of losing your full squad when you're driving into not an ambush, but just like a protected area or a hot zone. So that's why it's a minimum ticket loss if we do die, but if my rest of the squad is still alive, capturing the flag, it's beneficial to the team. So just as a squad leader, kind of look at that, whether you need your full squad with you or if you need a few guys with you to complete the task you're trying to do. Whether you're setting up a spawn point.
No, we should be able to get
or
the
redirecting
flag
your
right
guys
before we lose Novo.
Enemy helo just sitting on my mark.
Because they just started capturing it, and
so there it is. The defense turned red, and you'll see this blue bar go down. That's
we're ready.
just the
What's the cap on
time.
Mowgli? Is it above 50%?
Yep,
Yeah, we should
And the attack flag will never show what your status is. You need to say that over
get it
comms.
before.
Yeah.
Make sure it's 5 chevrons though, for full cap.
It is.
We should be able to get Mowgli before we lose Novo.
We might have a enemy.
They're trying to
northeast
back
of
cap us on
us.
with Novo.
I'll look for it.
Alright.
If this enemy team did this a lot sooner,
Those
I
fob
mean, I
creations
probably
could
would
be
have
the
seen
next
it on the
flag
map
area.
because I'm looking at the map, but you'll see most common squad leaders, infantry squad leaders are too busy with like infantry fighting that they're not
Squad
looking at
7's
their
heading
map,
over there.
Okay, I guess you can. Link
and
it
your
there.
back cap could easily be captured if there's no defenders.
When did they add like mud to stick on the wheels? Like when you get in those muddy areas, can't turn. I don't know when
Make
they
sure you
added that.
keep enough guys on the...
Another thing is I'm not worried about double neutral because we have that northwestern fob.
Hey, keep...
So there it is. East Mowgli just got captured. The next flag just is about to be shown. So Pacific Co-op. So when I'm setting up, I do not want to use this main road. One, either because it's mined, or two, there's going to be enemy logi / vehicle that uses this main road. They're going to see me from a distance. So what I want to do is kind of use the terrain, either the hills or trees or whatever, try to mask or hide my route. And you do not ever, even if you think there's no defenders, never drive your logi on the zone. You always want to about 200 or so meters away from it. That way it's less auditory cues for if they did have defenders on there. That way you can get your fob set up, and then if you have enough supplies, get another fob set up, and then you have multiple angles for your attackers to get on zone. Never drive your logi directly on the flag, even if you think it's empty. Because if you had a player like me, I would already be ready for defense. And if I lost our attack flag or our defense flag, if I was the Russians, let's mark it. If I was Russians and I just lost our defense flag, I would already got my squad on co-op and either had 1 or 2 spawn locations and 360 defense on it to prevent what I'm about to do right now.
Good. Oh, they got a fucking repair station.
Okay, if you
And
die,
so yes, using main roads is faster, but
I
it
keep
is
holding
risky.
defense. I'll let you know when y'all can
So
spawn
either
onto the
whether
map.
it's mined or a vehicle watches it.
We're good though. Oh Jesus.
We lost our repair
Tank
station
shell just
on...
goes past.
And you have to remember on this map, 19 minutes left. On this map, you still have this this big hill that can see kind of like throughout the map. You have, I think right here is kind of like a big hill that can see on the road. So that's what I'm kind of concerned about, whether there's vehicles there or not. And I may, 19 minutes left, I'm not sure, may lose the
West.
Infantry close northwest.
Another thing, as squad leaders, don't try to put your hab directly on the flag. So let's just say the flag's like right here. Never put the hab on the zone, because you're going to have enemy infantry get on the zone. Either they sneak on there or they flank around, whatever the situation happens. Your hab is going to get proxied. And that's why I always recommend you have your spawn points outside the flag. Whatever direction it is, have them outside the flag. You can use these fobs to kind of like deter them away from the actual flag, instead of just having one central fob that's on flag to deter the enemies or stop the enemies. Have the outside spawn points with their emplacements or ammo, whatever, get your AT or whatever, to stop the enemies getting on zone. So I'll kind of like show that in game. Let's just say this is Mowgli flag. See how much that kind of like blocks other spawn points being built. So me personally, let's just say West Novo as reference, you can get kind of like, so see you have kind of like, I know this map doesn't really show the colors, but you have more kind of like coverage of defending instead of this one right here. If you have three kind of like in this triangle kind of shape, you can cover it a lot better than just having one in the middle, and then you're going to have put more on the outside part. So I recommend just having it on the outer part of your flag instead of right on the flag.
Squad 5 is on 2B to repair.
Whether it be a tow fob, hab, or repair
I've had a
station,
game once
have it
where I was
outside
on this long
the flag.
flank, and then I forget whether I crashed or the server crashed right before I was able to get this attack hab up. Same situation.
They're pushing west on
We'll see what
Mowgli
happens.
from the west.
And my greatest weakness,
you're here.
trees.
So taking
If
the,
you're on Mowgli, be sure
like
to
a
get
detour,
360
instead of using the main
coverage,
road,
northeast,
you will have like a difficulty of terrain, whether they be rocks or trees.
southwest.
They will, and mud will
Don't
slow you
expect
down.
them to keep pushing the same direction.
But it is in a sense
Look in all
safer.
directions.
You kind of want to be unpredictable for the enemies. Right now, if the helo flew over me, of course I'd be seen right now because I'm in the field. But if I'm driving through the trees, potentially he will not see
If we
me.
wouldn't get another
So you see the hab mark is white.
squad with a
Well, it
Logi
went
or
away,
helo,
so we
try
lost
to
that radio. But when the hab is white, that means they took it down a layer. But when you see, if you were on, let's just say you were on the perimeter of the circle, on your top left, it will show that radio health and the time you would have before the radio completely disappears.
Squad 3, can you get your guys to stop shooting TKing my guy?
If we wouldn't get another squad with a Logi or helo, try to get east side of co-op. I'm going to try to get this northwest.
So the reason I said a helo, and I never recommend a helo to do the attack fob, but it is a great distraction. You're going to have the defenders on co-op right now. They're going to see a helo on the east side. They're going to be distracted by the noise of it and them attacking that potential fob that's being set up, where it allows my Logi a little quieter, but probably can be heard from their distance. It potentially gives me the distraction and the time enough to get a fob set up and then attack the flag. But yes, it's always better to have two, three infantry squad leaders to actually get their Logis or helos, get the attack flag. If you rely on just one squad leader, it'll take too much time to get the attack fob set up. So I have a minimum of two squad leaders to set up the attack fobs.
Squad leader might be a hab over by you. There's a helicopter hovering. Just a heads up.
So what this guy just said, I'm going to mark it right now, or where am I? He just marked the Bravo mark right on me. He just marked the Bravo on me. What I'm going to do is put this fob creation mark right here, and it will show the small circle will show where the radio could be. So whenever you see helo hovering a certain direction, just spot the helo and then put the fob creation over that. And then you'll find the radio, and then you can kill those 20 tickets.
Squad 10, I don't know if you probably don't want to dig it down, so you could probably dig that down, because they're going to come in and dig it out from behind you.
Yeah, Squad 10, if you can, if you like. I guess we're not doing it. I guess we're not digging.
Well, we got plenty of tickets, so I don't think it's too critical.
Yeah, we're okay. We just gotta defend Mongolia.
Some BTR or something on the northwest of co-op.
BTR destroyed.
So what I just said, I heard a BTR in the distance. Now whether this armor player just killed that same BTR, I'm not sure.
Oh, there's the hab.
So in my mind, I'm thinking that BTR is still alive. And luckily, we were driving along and we were able to see the enemy hab. I'm going to relay that to my engineer, put a fob creation on that hab, and then he can find the radio within that circle.
Oh, we used all the build up. Can I, choppers, can I get more build at East Mogi so I can get a repair session, please?
Luckily, the Logi flipped on my side for me. Usually,
hey, Doctor, I spotted the hab for you if you want to try to kill it.
I'll be standing by.
And so, in my mind, thinking right now, I could potentially put a rally down. I don't want to use the supplies for a fob right here, because if we put a fob, it's going to take too much time. I need to quickly get to the attack flag. So I can put a rally down. If my engineer was to get killed, he can spawn back on that rally.
You know what? We're going to get out for just for a second. Again. Drop a rally right here in this tree.
On my way.
Yep,
potentially, I could leave one guy to help the engineer kill the hab, either proxy and then find the radio.
Okay, back
but
in. We'll
I believe so. Only have one guy. I only have one guy with me. Oh no, to have two guys. So potentially, I could have left one guy to help the engineer kill the hab, but I think it's better to have your two guys to quickly get your hab set up in case your squad mate died before you could build the hab. So looking at it, it's better to have the engineer deal with that hab by himself. Another tactic you can use is stay as squad leader. First, place the radio down, then place the hab down. If you only had one guy to build, you can then, as a squad leader, head back to the Logi and grab a regular crewman role. Do not grab the lead crewman role, just the regular crewman role. That will allow you to give the shovel, and then you can shovel the hab with your squad mate. Some servers will kick you if you're not a squad leader within a time frame. So try to use command comms and tell them that you're switching to crewman to shovel something. And then once the ammo crate gets built up, you can grab your squad leader role again. So auditory, helo over me. Right now, I'm scared that this helo is going to spot us.
We'll just do it in this. Yep, he's about to spot us. I'll do it in this compound here.
So I'm debating with myself. Should I put it in this building, or should I quickly... let's go in game so you can see it. 10 minutes left. So if I was to put it in this building right now, we have this whole field across and then the buildings to get to our attack flag. That's the attack flag right now. If I was able to get it in this compound or in this tree line or this kind of compound, they're kind of like, in a sense, closer to the flag. Yes, there's these this field right here, and then you have the southern part with the tree line. Try to attack in different directions, or if needed, get a vehicle to help drop off infantry, or get mortars to drop smoke when you have kind of like a flag that's open terrain like this. Also use your terrain to try to, example, like this is a common spot for people to put their habs or rallies to try to get co-op.
Oh no, because then the team wouldn't be able to push, would they?
I think there's like an enemy BTR
through the open field. We just have to risk it, I guess.
They are southeast of Mowgli, taking out one of our habs. So
southeast Mowgli.
So as squad leader, always pass out the relevant information. Squad mate just said southeast is going down, so I say it over command comms. Right now, I'm worried about that helo spotting us.
No.
And if he didn't see us, I'm pretty sure he just saw us right now since he was just over us.
Dumb supplies.
Copy. They're gonna be.
So in my mind, I'm kind of worried that this we're about to get pushed from the defenders on co-op.
That's true.
And so in my mind, I'm just going to quickly put a hab down. I don't want to put a hab down where they can see from the from their flag, from their defense side. Try to use either terrain or buildings to kind of protect it. If possible, I should have put it on the eastern side of the street.
If you're dead, you can spawn a new hab on the north of co-op. If you're dead, spawn north hab.
So back to what I was saying about leaving your squad at the defense flag so that you can get a few guys to help flank around. So just to recap, I took a few guys, I think it was for this hab, I took a few guys and I swooped around over here, and I left the other 7 or 6 guys actually of my squad on the defense flag. That way it helps in case we were losing it or whatever the situation is. With my minimum 1 or 2 guys with me, I can easily set up this fob. When we're setting up this fob and they're taking contact on defense, if they were to go down, they can now spawn on the new attack fob and then get the attack flag. And now we have this 10 leader with his squad getting that fob set up, and that allows them to attack from the east side. Remember, on command comms, you need to tell the other squad leaders for them to hold defense. You don't want everyone who dies on defense to then spawn on these attack flags, leaving defense empty or open. So always try to make it clear on command comms who's attacking and who's defending.
If you're dead, you can spawn.
When you're setting up these attack fobs, as squad leaders, I would recommend pulling out your knife or bandage or binos, and then setting up your radio and hab. There is a kind of like lag or bug where you quickly try to set up your hab or whatever, and your gun will go off. So always try to, and then the enemies, if they're paying attention, they will hear that and kind of like head in that direction. They heard the gunshot and find your hab. So always pull out something that's quiet, like a knife, bandage, binos, and then put the
new
radio
hab
hab
on
down.
north of co-op. If you're dead, spawn north hab. Attack flag.
So
Getting
I do
north
not
hab
know
set up.
why this guy spawned on this far eastern side. He still has these spawn points to help defend until I was able to get my spawn up, or 10 was able to get his spawn up. I don't know his reasoning of spawning. Either he misclicked or whatever the reason being. This whole march is too long. He could have been staying at defense or spawning on the new relevant or closer spawn points. So
for co-op,
don't just spawn as a squad player. Don't just spawn at random. Always look at what the objectives are. You have your defense, you have your attack. Look at which one needs help the most. If you see your defense has no defenders or lack of defenders, then go help defense. If your attack has these spawn points about to help up and you have all these defenders right now, then hold your spawn and help the attack. Of course, depending on what your squad leader wants done.
Supplies and repair, I'll come and support you on call. Enemy hab is
so what I'm doing is probably getting this logi away from the radio.
If you ever play Mech, make sure you clear before you pick people up.
Probably what that guy said. Give a brief medic kind of tip, guide, whatever. Whenever someone gets picked up, they're going to have the black screen. They're going to have a red skull on the bottom of the screen. Their stamina will be depleted. So when you're a medic, of course you need to first clear the area. You don't want to pick up someone and then he's in this 1 HP and he quickly dies, and then he's going to lose the ticket for the team, and then he has to wait for the spawn timer. First clear the building, whatever, clear the area. When you pick up the guy, you want to first prioritize who needs to be picked up depending on the situation, either squad leader, other medics, AT, whatever, a rifleman, whatever needs to be picked up. When you pick them up, they're going to have 1 HP. Use your healing bag, whatever it's called, to, even for a second, then their stamina is going to gain up. Even if you touch them for a second, the stamina is going to gain. They're still going to have that red icon until either 1 minute passes or until you heal them at 100% HP. So 1 second of healing them, stamina recharges. If you don't heal them all the way, they have to wait 1 minute until that red skull icon goes away. That red skull icon is just a dead state. If they get killed with that red skull icon, then they automatically die, they lose the ticket, and they have to wait for the respawn. So medics always pick when you pick up your guy, give them full heals. Give 100% full health, then pick up the next guy. Don't pick up, example, 5 guys with 1 HP each one. Pick one guy up, 100 health, the next guy, 100 health. So right now I'm just flanking around, trying to get this other. And as you can see on the bottom right, I have no supplies.
AT, I'm going to try to
maybe
cause
what
a
I was
distraction
doing,
on.
maybe what I was planning to do was put a rally down, but as I just said in the video now, I'm going to cause a distraction. I think what my plan was to drive kind of in a sense this direction so that the enemies look to the east. I think that's kind of like what I'm doing right now.
Co-op. Don't shoot unless necessary. I'm going to cause a distraction. I'm going to drive.
Yeah, we just need to get prepared. We're pretty dinged up right now.
Okay, I'm just going to cause distraction. I have no construction anyways.
Alright, I see the red smoke.
Try to stealthily get on co-op, guys. Don't shoot unless necessary.
So I'm kind of hoping right now for the defenders to hear my logi, kind of look in my way.
H9 have down by rally.
Because even if I die, that's fine. I could get my squad that's on the northwest side to get on the flag. Because remember, there's pretty much an open field for these guys.
Sorry, was that you, Doctor?
Yeah, tabs down.
Nice. Did you find the radio?
Yeah, we're tracked now. Looking for it now.
So as you saw, my distraction didn't do anything at all. If it was a distraction, usually the enemies would be shooting at me.
Australians, RH90, medium lift.
Yeah, bad guys on the south side of Melbourne.
So
get in.
I believe what I'm going to do is pick up this guy. This allows me to go ahead, and of course depends on the situation. You have 300 construction here, you have 200 construction here. I'm not sure how many's on this eastern one, but if you had a spawn point, a fob location that had enough to build another fob, that would allow me, example, to come over here, and then we have another third way of attacking this attack flag. So I'm always looking, and this goes back to fob spamming. It's risky because if you don't have defenders on your fob, or you're not keeping an eye on it, then you will lose those 20 tickets and they will add up. But if the enemy team was incompetent, or they just focused staying on flag and not doing a full 360 defense, branching out, securing the actual outer part of the flag, then this fob spam meta would not work. But since this team right here, it just seems like they're only focusing on one per flag, this spam meta actually does work. Just depends on the enemy team.
Towards this side.
And if we had friendly squad leaders doing the same thing, example, if we had 3 infantry squad leaders, I took this one, the second one took this one, the third one took this one, we could all get up our habs pretty quickly and then have 3 angles of attack.
To go north, get 200 ammo, and then we'll head to the flag. Hey Squad 10, do you still have enough supplies for another hab in that logi?
And I call it fob spam meta, but really it is important to have a minimum 2 fobs.
Yeah, I guess on the northeast of
never expect your one like super fob to survive. Either commander is going to drop party on it, get like a sneaky engineer to kill the radio. Things happen. So always have a minimum 2 spawn points, 2 fobs, either a rally or hab, whatever the case is. Get at least 2 spawn points for your defense / attack flag.
Cool. Yeah, we're going down.
I will bring a logi towards this mark.
I will say also, just a little thing about invasion, because kind of what I'm about to say. Invasion, if you're the attacking team, then you need to, once you capture your, let's just say, first flag and you head to your second flag, you need to destroy your old habs and radios so that the enemies don't go back to those first flags that you've already captured and dig down those 20 tickets. So in my mind right now, like me, I'm thinking maybe I should tell my team to also dig down these old radios we had at Novos and Mowgli, because same thing can apply. The enemies can go to the airfield in Novo and Mowgli and kill those 20 tickets per radio. Of course, Mowgli's still relevant right now, but if we were to move enough in the game where we're not in that area no more, you should probably take down those radios. Of course, you're going to have, example, 300 or 400 tickets, then it may not matter. But if you're low on tickets, you need to start conserving assets, whether they be vehicles or radios, stuff like that, so you don't lose the game as quickly. And I'm not sure. I just see this right now. I don't know if that's a hab right now. I just see that. It could be a rock, could be a hab. I don't know. Let's see where I am.
I'm going to try to get a rally down on north side for y'all.
So, okay, that's our hab then. That's our hab. Okay. So I think
chopper over co-op. Right, chopper over co-op.
I think what I'm doing right now is putting a rally.
If you're MG,
that,
you can shoot the tail rotor on that chopper on co-op.
That way, if our hab was to get killed, remember that's kind of in the direction of their spawn point. So they probably have a Logi or Tiger driving from that direction. They're going to see that radio and hab.
We'll just leave the Logi there for ammo resupply for the guys.
Roger that.
So if you don't have enough construction to make a hab, you can still use your either a truck or a light vehicle or a Logi. You can still have the ammo in there, drop a rally next to it, and use it as an ammo crate. I think it's only 200 ammo.
Maybe a vehicle on co-op.
If you had a lot more, then of course it would. I believe a truck is 300, and most
everyone needs to get on zone.
It's like
if you have heavy contact, flank around east.
Ammo.
Follow the diamonds east.
And you would treat those light vehicles the same as a Logi, where you drive up to the perimeter of a fob and resupply it, or head back to main and resupply from there. So kind of what I said, where I'm never really a infantry leader, but here I am. I'm trying to get on flag so I can kind of like, in a sense, start helping them cap it. And right now I see our defense, we have almost no one on defense. We have a few guys on this northern, few guys on this western part, but pretty much this whole southeastern side is exposed. Remember, they took down West Novo. They came from the southeast, and we have no defenders there. Maybe these guys in the west and north are killing other enemies, but you still needed a few guys on the southeast side to help defend or stall the enemies getting on zone.
Okay, so you're looking at co-op. Doesn't look like
so you're on zone, top right of your screen. Show the flag status. Once you see the chevrons, I know it's hard to see. Once you see the chevrons, when you have enough guys, then you'll know when you're capping it.
I'm looking at the UAV right now.
And the guy who killed me is right here on the wall. You'll see his muzzle flash.
West.
As FTO / squad leaders, quickly mark it on the map.
On the move mark was a guy.
Remember, like in game, I don't know if I have enough time. The game probably ended. Where is it? Okay, game ended. But yeah. Let's do this actually. In game. Back to this. In game.
Get on
like
zone, guys.
It'll show
marksman,
in front
medic.
of the
Get on zone.
View.
Co-op.
If you're taking contact, head east, then move south.
I can park an arty on co-op if needed.
Possible Tiger coming from northwest of co-op.
So let's see if it loaded in.
Advance and secure. Our mission is to secure all objective areas. Move out.
So let's just say, and I don't think, because on the training range it won't, but okay. So when you, as a FTO or squad leader, when you put these marks down, the player is going to see this 3D mark. So if you put a move mark down, and also on the bottom of the compass, it kind of shows where you should be looking at. So if you were flanking around, you kind of know what degree, angle degree you need to be looking at, where the enemy is. And of course, when you spam and also put diamonds mark down, the only things you can't see are like these file creations. It won't See how it's like just took a quick second? It won't really stay there. But these other marks, they kind of like last a little longer. About what, 5 seconds or so? Whereas those other fob creations just last like half a second. So stuff like that.
Squad 9.
So that's just a UAV from the commander. The commander only has 3 assets right now. Either he can use the airstrike. You can use the airstrike on HABs, but it will not kill the HAB. I believe if it's a short range, then it could kill the HAB. I don't quote me on that. If it's a short like airstrike, then you could possibly kill the HAB. If it's a long airstrike, then you cannot kill the HAB. You can disable it, but you won't destroy the stakes. I'm not sure about radios. Probably can kill the radio. I'm not sure. You can use airstrikes to kill tanks. Usually that's what commanders now use it for. If you do airstrike a HAB though, you do need infantry around it. And that's why in this scenario right here, the HAB is indoor, meaning this roof right now kind of has holes in it. So it is potential you could probably get lucky enough where if you get at a certain angle through the door on the roof, it may take it down. But generally, don't waste your airstrike on an indoor HAB. You can also have 2 types of RD. You have your static, and then you have your let's go in game. You have static. So here's the airstrike. You either have your static barrage, which is just like a big circle and it hits in that one, or you have your creeping barrage. And your creeping barrage will look like a line. Your static will look like a yellow circle. Your creeping barrage will have like a line, and then whatever direction the commander put it through. And then it will start, let's say, on this left side and then head to the right. So those are the 3 assets that the commander gets.
Can you aim down? Can you put a task? Can you put a task?
So I'm looking right now because when you go down, you don't have to give up. You have generally you'll have a 5-minute down timer. Use those 5 minutes if you want. You can still give call outs to your squad or local chat, tell them who killed you, what direction. When you go down, you can look at the map, see how defense is going, see how attack is going, see if rally points got popped, got burned, HABs went down, stuff like that. If new marks went down, like infantry marks, HAB marks, vehicle marks. When you go down, you can still gather information, give information out. Don't give the don't hit the give up button. You also want to look at your ticket count to see how much you have. If you're under 150-ish, you want to start conserving it. Wait for a medic or a teammate to pick you up. Try to play smarter with your vehicles and your radio locations, stuff like that. So being down is not a bad thing. Yeah, you'll see, like if you're watching my gameplay, you'll see me go down a lot, but I'm giving out information for my team, and it also allows me to spawn at a different angle and attack. So going down is not a bad thing.
South of,
going down can give you and your team information.
Task force.
So if you're paying attention to the command comms right now, the commander is asking for a squad leader to use his well, I have to go back in character. He's I need a squad leader role. I have to change it. There is a way you can do all role availability. Let's just do this though. Okay, so squad leader, for this tax request, you'll put it either on the whatever you need it for, accept it, and then the commander will see it. And then the commander can either accept it or deny it, and then if he accepts it, what is you need it for, whatever. Usually there's a 15-minute for the airstrike, and then you have to wait another 15 minutes after you use the airstrike, I believe, for the next set. Or if you're late in the game, if you're already almost to the RD, you probably want to save that airstrike, leave the airstrike alone and wait for your RD to be used.
Yep, yep.
What's up, Squad 10? Watch the northwest. You have infantry, enemy infantry northeast of your hab.
So for rallies to be popped, the enemy needs to be, I believe, 10 meters away, and then the rally will disappear. And that's why I recommend on like in game, keep eyes on your friendly rallies, not necessarily your own squads, but other squads rallies to see if they get popped. You'll see this infantry march just got put down on the northwest.
I'm co-op.
Okay, marksman.
So I'm going to tell these guys on the northwest, since we're already starting to capture flag, I don't need them on zone. I need them to head back, either save the hab, save the radio, whatever they got to do, and repel these attackers right here. So remember, keep looking at your map every 15 or so seconds.
Start heading back to the hab.
You'll see new map,
Marksman
new
and
enemy
bear
marks
start heading
get
back
marked
to the
down.
hab. Our hab's about to get overrun soon.
And I would say this team and the squad was pretty good. The squad, especially listening
if y'all need
to
a
my
spawn
orders,
rally,
this team
there should
for
be 100 or so
getting
ammo
on flags,
on
like relevant part of the flags, you will see a lot of games where once a fob gets created in the beginning of the game, they're just going to stay there.
Thank you.
So remember,
Spawn
always focus on relevant objectives, your attack, your defense, spawn points.
They have a tiger coming
You see on the map, our defense is falling right now. It's turned red, and the blue bar is going down.
Tiger coming on the east of
Right
K9.
now, I'm just focused on the attack. You see on the top right, our chevron, full chevron, meaning it's going
AT, let's
faster.
get it back northwest.
I want you to drop it to zone mark.
Tiger coming.
So, commander is saying task force. He's talking about the request.
Coming west. Tiger coming west. AT look west. AT Tiger coming up.
Yeah, he's on the main road. Oh, he's turning towards Petrovic.
It's infantry direct west of the hab. Direct west. They're coming up through the
On observer, Tiger.
It's a task force.
Please.
That's funny because the commander is getting frustrated. He's saying task. This is his mind. He's saying attack request. Remember the attack request right here, and then the commander then could use his assets. That's what he's talking about right now. He's getting frustrated, and no one's knows what a task force. Because he's saying task force instead of attack request.
Oh, you mean attack? That's what you're saying.
Oh my god, full squad coming up on.
So, besides the command comms being crazy right now, this RWS Tiger, if it was open top, never. I recommend never using open top vehicles to push the attack flags. Your gunner will get shot out. If you're in this RWS light vehicles, you can actually be a good distance away and shoot players. The only time you want to use your light vehicles so close to infantry is for the AT not to have arming distance. I believe, I could be wrong, is it 15, 20, 25 meters? The AT rocket will not damage vehicles. So the only time you want to use these light vehicles next to infantry is just to not be killed by the rockets. Of course, bullets will destroy the Tigers, and then you'd be sitting, and then the AT can shoot from a distance. Another thing, for these light vehicles, the windows cannot be shot through. The only rifle that an infantry can kill is the Canadian Timberwolf sniper. That's the only, and I believe it's just the rear window. I'm not sure about the front window, but I believe only the Canadian Timberwolf sniper can shoot and then kill from the back. And I could be wrong. Maybe the Timberwolf can shoot the front. I could be wrong.
There we go.
And so I think right now I'm just trying to smoke that Tiger.
Tactical.
Yeah.
Try to blind him.
Thank you.
Oh, I thought you meant like a fire team or something. It's like, I only got 3 guys.
Tiger burning.
And that's fine. Like I said, always going down. It gives you the ability to look at the map.
Watch out, Squad 5.
Be sure that the radio's not dying, guys. If they.
So in my point of view, I cannot see the health of the radio. Whether let me go back on that. So you see this yellow circle right here? That means that previously the hab was either dug down a stage and we redug it and now it's activating the hab, or 2, it was proxied and then we killed the proxiers and now it's reactivating, or 3, the radio was damaged and we dug the radio back up to 100 health and then the hab is reactivating. So since no one's near the hab and we have these guys over here, that means they were just proxying it. but we still need to get attackers to this potential spawn area. If you kill their spawn points, you can hold the flag. You can secure your whatever the objective is, whether it's your radio you're trying to protect or the flag you're protecting. If you kill their spawn points, it helps your team a lot easier.
Hey, you're on the radio. Go ahead, dig it down.
Radio's fine. Radio's fine.
Nice, nice.
So using comms, them being in the blue circle, they can tell me
It'd
the
probably
status.
be double neutral.
So double neutral, like I said, beginning of the video, both flags are going to turn neutral, and this is only for RAAS and AAS. And so when it goes double neutral, you need to go back to your defense flag, and you need a minimum of 3 people. Regardless of how many enemies are on there, you just need a minimum of 3 people, and then you can stealth cap it back. Of course, the more people you have, the faster it goes, but just minimum 3 people.
Well, are we going to have a
there on the blue bar? You see it's kind of like 20-ish%.
defense team back on
that
Mowgli?
shows you how much time you have left before it gets neutral.
Hey, Wayne.
Attack flag, you have to be on the zone or ask on command / squad comms.
What's the status of
what the status is? When you're down, I don't think you can see it. Only people that are alive.
What's the cap on co-op?
Yo, watch out, 2, get out, or 5, get out of there. Dropping.
So
okay, our squad will stay on co-op.
Remember, on command comms, you need to tell them what your squad plans to do. I'm telling command comms right now, my squad is staying on co-op.
Okay.
You need a minimum 1 or 2 squads to get back to defense. Get your 3 teammates, get on that flag, recapture it. And right here, that's the creeping barrage. You'll see the RD is going to start here and is going to roll to the south.
They're all around me.
What these defenders should have done, and I know I'm just I'm just saying this in the moment. If what I should have done in game is tell these squad leaders to focus on their spawn point. They came from the West Novo. Their spawn point's somewhere over here. Not necessarily here, but somewhere in this certain direction, right? If they were able to find their spawn points, get 1 or 2 guys to recon it, find their spawn points, even if they die, it allows their squad to either use a new attack angle or whatever the case is to get back to that enemy hab and kill it.
Guys, thank you.
I'm out of.
Remember, for
without squad leaders and spawn points,
double neutral, only need 3 guys.
Your games are not going to last very
Self-cap.
long.
If your guys get on East Mowgli, tell them to hide.
Thanks, Doc.
It won't happen.
Oh, do you?
We're almost red. As soon as the RD hits us, we're dead.
I think you redig the.
So I want to say again, when you get picked up, you see this red skull right here. You see kind of like this blackish whatever, and my stamina is 0%. So medics, when you pick up somebody, touch them for a second, their stamina is going to increase. You give them 100% health, this red skull will go away. If you wait 1 minute without being healed, the skull will go away. And that's just the dead state. If you get killed with this red skull still, then you automatically die and lose the ticket for your team.
Enemy hab to your northwest.
Make it closer to you. Yeah, we're neutral. You got enough build.
Yeah, the only way we're gonna cap is if we get bodies on that other one.
I'm not close enough to I'm like.
Thank you.
Like 2 feet away.
So there it goes. When you saw him healing me with that healing symbol, you see my stamina starting to go up. Even if you touch the player just for half a second, the stamina will then recharge.
I'm going to head back to Logi, do resupply.
So as squad leader, I'm always tied to a Logi. Me personally, I'm not an infantry squad leader. I'm just using the infantry, the squad leader role with its mechanics to help the team in a sense. Not actually for gunfights, but spawning mechanics, marking mechanics, having my squad spawn at certain objectives or relevant objectives, attacking relevant spawn points, their enemy habs.
Remember, we're staying on co-op, guys. Get 360 coverage.
So even though I'm telling them on co-op, I'm not saying just stay on co-op. You need to branch out. Remember 360 defense, you have audio and visual enemies. You need to branch out and attack their spawn points. Do not let the enemies set up their habs.
If you need to, get off the flag about 100 or so meters. Stop them from getting on zone. I'm heading back to Logi.
So I'm just going to say this, if you had a light vehicle or a truck right here, easily drive it to this blue circle, resupply it. You can bring it back for your bring it back and resupply the guys on the flag. Another thing you can do is you get a radio down right here. It should be enough room to get the ammo crates on the flag. Another thing, if you plan to take another squad's, example Logi, always ask permission. Either this 10 leader saw I was heading back, or he was just trying to grab that ammo from it.
Hey Grumpy, are you about to get that Logi and set up for Mowgli?
I was gonna get my Logi and head back.
Alright.
So what I was just, and this is an enemy chopper. What I was asking that 10 leader is, he's going to grab his Logi and he's going to head back to the defense flag. My plan, at this time, I think my plan was just to grab the Logi, head to whatever fob had enough ammo / construction to get ready for a new spawn point if needed. I think that's what I was planning to do.
Yeah, I had no construction anyways.
So back to the command comms. Only like the numpad 0 is direct to commander, and then numpad 1 all the way through 9 is for 1 leader to 9 leader. Once it gets to 10 and above, you have to use all command comms, the G key, to talk to, example, this 10 leader. But this 10 leader can use his numpad to direct talk me.
Keep defending co-op, guys. I'm going to do a resupply.
Fob's very, very high.
If y'all need to, go ahead, dig that radio down so we don't lose 200 tickets. If the radio is hot.
So we do have enough tickets right now, and I think in my mind, I'm just saying, just in the case of us losing that battle, I don't want us to lose 20 tickets. I'd rather lose infantry tickets over 20 tickets.
There's a bunch of them in the smoke.
So that's why I'm saying, if it was to go wrong, we were to lose their gunfight, dig that radio down, help us conserve those 20 tickets.
On their head.
BTR coming on the north of co-op. BTR north of co-op.
And just seeing it now, I don't know whether that radio mark is accurate or not. I don't know if a helo marked it or it's just like some random. So there it is. You can check the respawn timer for vehicles, and also of course the ticket counts. And if they're amphibious, this icon right here just shows that these two are amphibious, these two are amphibious. That means they can go in deep water.
BTR is north of our radio.
Goddamn trees. Smitty, go ahead, get accurate marks down. Your FTL.
Oh, yeah,
remember, whenever you're FTO, try to mark them on the accurate.
BTR marked accurate, north co-op, near our radio.
So I believe, I'm assuming the reason I chose this fob to resupply is, I think, because that's the reason I checked that vehicle roster. I was waiting for a helo to come and give supplies to this eastern fob, instead of him doing it on these other fobs. One, this western one's already known, so I'm not worried for that to go down, but I still want this eastern one. I still want this eastern one to be somewhat safe and unknown to the enemies, and if our helo was to fly and hover over it, that's going to give a giveaway of a fob being right there. So whenever you have a chance, either meet up with a helo or get a new radio down far away from your objectives so you can resupply from there.
Has anyone asked for a resupply from you yet?
Charlie.
Nope.
If you can you meet me at this 011 for enough supplies for one hab and some ammo? 011.
Yep.
He's practically on the head, on the east side of it.
Taking down the radio. Our radio's going down.
I'm pushing it.
Blueberry just went down on the radio.
So even though I'm driving away from the action, I still want to be listening and looking at what my squad/team is doing. You don't want to just be focused on your example and just driving away. Look at your map, listen to what your squad is doing, put marks down for them. As squad leaders, go ahead, tell the command comms what's going on.
Checking down enemy hab right now.
Who said command? The enemy hab.
Which marker is accurate?
Yeah.
We're here digging it down.
Nice job, nice job.
I don't know, but I hear it.
Radio's not going down.
I will say, if you plan on driving while looking at the map, just be careful of friendly mines, because I've had a lot of times where I'm just driving, I'm focused on the map, I'm not focused on my example area of the map, I'm not focused on where I'm driving, I'm looking at something else, and there'll be a friendly mine on the map, and then I would drive over it. It has happened to me a lot. So just a little tip for you. Try to also look where you're driving at.
Squad 2.
Wayne, head to the radio.
On the map, it'll be like a white skull. That's just a mine mark. I believe in the beginning of the game, you would see it on that main road.
Where do you want me to spawn SL?
You could spawn either Rally or M9. Back on co-op.
Alright.
So I just saw this right now. This squad right here, they can use this light vehicle, whether it was open top or closed top. They can easily use this vehicle, get on the zone, hot drop your guys, get on either cap it, or let's just say this hab was accurate. They can get on that PMV or light vehicle, get to that hab, hot drop, proxy that hab, destroy the hab, find the radio, get those 20 tickets. If they had another hab down here, whatever the situation is, you can use these light vehicles for these hot drops, either for capturing flags, killing habs, stuff like that.
We got enough stealth cappers. I'm getting a chopper to resupply.
So I also want to point out how many radios we lost. I could be wrong, but we had this radio up here. We had a radio, I think it was somewhere right here. And I could be wrong. I think there was a radio over here. So those are 20 tickets each. And if we were to lose these other two spawn locations, so what is that, 100 tickets right there? Plus we would have no other spawn locations for your defense flag. And so or me personally as squad leaders, I'm more focused on keeping the spawn locations safe. And if your spawn locations go down, I'm going to prioritize myself and maybe a few other of my squad mates to get a new spawn down.
Fly me.
BTR on Charlie. Next to their hab.
So finally that 10 leader,
their hab's not going to be proxied
he's finally leaving
no, it's
to
fine.
set
Once
up
we get our radio
for defense, looks like, on this bottom right
then we
here.
can start re-pushing the enemy hab.
I will tell you, most player will always do like a direct line of attack towards a fob. You can use your guys to swoop around. It may take longer, but if you can kill their hab, even if you lose your hab, then it's like a net neutral type of thing. You lose 20 tickets, they lose 20 tickets, but at least y'all, you destroyed their spawn at the same time. So don't always just attack one angle. Always try to get a few of your guys to swoop around. And as squad players, you should not have your squad leader telling you these simple things. It should already be common sense to always be flanking.
Just keep pushing that.
Oh, their hab's down a level. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're still defending co-op, but I would rather have these guys kind of still outside. These 4 or so guys. You still want to be kind of like on the outside, because potentially there could be enemies right here and they could easily sit on this eastern part right there. So remember, just
is Petrica hot?
outside. Sit outside the flag. Don't
how's
sit on the
co-op
flag
doing, guys?
itself.
Down that them radios over there.
Where is the radio?
Radio's on the Blueberry to the west, on Cav.
So if you need to know, click the person's name and it will highlight what that player is. So there it is, it highlights, and then I can mark it.
Logi coming on that enemy radio. Watch your northwest. Logi coming in.
Tanks are down.
So there we go. Once you see the blue icons again, that means we're already capping it.
One guy dig, other guys cover. Oh, engineer's there. Let the engineer do his job. Everyone.
So remember your roles. So AT, your primarily is to destroy vehicles. Engineer is to help build faster, whether they be spawn points or to dig down enemy spawn points, create mines, C4 on radios, stuff like that. Medic, your main role not really is to fight, but is to heal. Now for riflemen, you are kind of like a jack of all trades. You have your ammo bag. You are to work with your, sorry, that's wrong. You are to work with your AT. You're to work with your medic for more bags, for medic bandages. But you can also use your ammo. Also, from squad leader can give him the ammo bag for a rally. But for a rifleman, you can use your rifle bag for more grenades. Kind of be like a mini grenadier. You can use it for more bandages. You could be like a mini medic, stuff like that. And that's why I always, like me personally, AT, rifleman, medic. If we had a grenadier, those are my main classes I would prefer for a squad. Instead of, I know engineer is useful, but not really needed most of the time. And marksman I don't need, and automatic riflemen, machine gunners I don't need.
One guns up.
These guys by the radio aren't giving up. A couple of them did, a couple of them didn't.
Maybe they're low on tickets.
Yeah.
Be sure to tell your guys on Mowgli, they need at least three to stealth cap. They don't need to fight, just 3 bodies on the flag.
We took down enemy hab on East Mongolia.
Get away from the radio.
So I don't know.
Hey, Bear, if you can start.
As you saw, this 2 Aslav.
Meeting me to
I
the
don't know
7
whether he
diamond to
needed
your south.
supplies or not. If you need supplies as armor, go ahead, give out the call out to
I'll
your
try to get a hab
heroes
over
or
there.
whatever. Kind of like in this situation right now, in case this 2 Aslav needed the resupply instead of him going back to main, maybe this helo would have enough supplies for us to put a repair station down, and then he can repair right there. So as armor players, don't be afraid to ask for repair stations.
Thank you for the resupply.
So I don't know. So what the pilot just said is, get inside the helo. He can take me towards this move mark, and then we could put a radio down right there. I think in game I did not hear him. I just heard him like right now. But his idea was good. It's a lot faster. But the only problem is then this Logi is not in play. And like right now you're kind of like not in the end game of the game, not in the end game, but you kind of feel like you are close to the end game. And so potentially I could have done that and we could abandon the Logi now since it's more important to move it faster. But I missed that. I didn't hear him, whether I was too busy thinking or talking.
Do you have construction as well?
And so that's why he was waiting for me to join him. So luckily our defense is getting recaptured. If it wasn't going that way, I would probably use these supplies for creating a file.
Okay, the squad.
Defense.
The team is 80% on Mowgli, so we should be fine as long as they stay alive.
Heads up, they're mining the roads.
And that right there is the enemy helo. I just see that right now, and you're about to hear it called out.
Enemy choppers south of co-op. They're probably going to get a hab up soon.
So potentially it was good that I did not get in.
If you're on co-op, start heading south.
Chopper, because I mean potentially I could get in the chopper gunner door door gunner or whatever and shoot the helo for those 5 tickets.
If you're on co-op, start heading south.
They dropped down.
But remember, like right now in my mind, I don't think we're that close to the end. I'm kind of thinking we're mid-end game, because I was thinking once we capture our defense and then we capture the attack flag, then we could win the game. Because I think in this game, in this version of the game, I think it's 60 ticket gain. So I was thinking since we have 120, the enemy should be close to their like 50-60 ticket mark, and I was thinking once we fully captured co-op, then we could win the game. So that's what I was thinking.
Everyone in co-op, start heading south.
It's not guaranteed when you capture all these flags. I mean, within this version, whatever version squad this was, it's not guaranteed that if you are low on tickets, or if you have more tickets, more flags than the enemies, that they're low on tickets. I think with V4.3 now, the enemies do not lose tickets when they lose flags. So potentially you can capture your back caps. Potentially you could capture your back caps, and then you could, example, just defend your, let's just say 3rd or so flag. You don't need to push out and attack so the enemies, you don't need to attack the attack flag so the enemies loses their 30 tickets for the flag loss. You can now just properly defend your flag, set up proper defense on flags now, and then
no, go ahead, push it, find that hab quickly.
I don't know if I made sense, but let's just say in this sense, I know I'm just rambling on here. Let's say we captured with that, not Hilltop, but the Homestead or whatever it's called, captured Novo. Let's just say we captured Mowgli. When co-op gets shown, and this is just random thinking to myself right now, if we were to capture co-op, we could then go back to Mowgli, because in version 4.3 you can capture all the flags you want. Once you lose a flag, you do not lose tickets no more. You could then go back to your one flag prior, get your proper defense, get whatever toes and MG nest and whatever. And this is just a possible strategy. I don't know if it's effective or not. Get your proper defense on your previous flag, wait for the enemies to attack and take co-op, and then once Mowgli's now the active objective, you have all these kind of like proper defense, kind of like a super kind of fob thing, and then you can repel the attackers. I'm not saying it's going to work, but it is possible now that 4.3 got rid of the 30 ticket loss when you lose a flag.
Nice job, guys. Nice job.
As squad leader, you kind of want to give like a positive reinforcement to your guys.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Bye, radio.
So I will say, when you're like close to 100 ticket, it kind of is not necessarily a close game, but you will see other games that are 200 ticket plus. So it's kind of like a good game in a sense. If you're close to like 50 tickets or under, then it could have gone either way, whether it was a radio or high ticket asset was lost. When it's 50 tickets or less, it's going to be more like that. But 100 tickets is usually a good game when it's close to 100 tickets. Don't pay attention to the scoreboard. Yes, you want to look at how many deaths you have. As infantry, 3 tickets is not a lot. If you were playing armor, if you died, let's just say these guys died at 2 times, they would lose 30 tickets plus their 6 tickets. They lost 30, let's just say, and this is an example, because a tank is 15 tickets, and then plus their infantry deaths, that's the 6 tickets, right? And if they die twice, that means they lost the tank twice. So stuff like that. I mean, it's not guaranteed that they were in the tank 2 times, but you want to think of stuff like that. So infantry, yes, it's 1 ticket per death. You don't really have to matter too much, but as armor, you should care about your deaths, your vehicle losses. Don't care about the score thing. It really does not make sense. Think about what you did for your team, how you helped either capture flags, killed enemy spawn points, assisted killing vehicles. Like you see mine, I have 0 kills, 0 deaths, but -28, -282, whatever reason. maybe because I was taking away points from a fob, whatever the case. This whole thing doesn't make sense anyways. Think about how you help the team conserve, gain, and how you tickets, and then how you lost tickets. So radio losses, kind of like me, I believe I put maybe 3 down, and I lost 2 of them. So remember, I created these 3 right here, and we lost, I think, just 1. So I only lost 20 tickets for the team, and then these 2 fobs were vital to recapture the defense flag. So stuff like that. Always think about how this game is really dependent on tickets. It's not gunfights in a sense, but more tickets. So always look at your ticket counts. KD does matter in a sense. As you see, 188 tickets to 143 tickets. Let's clear that. 143, 188. That does matter in the sense of infantry, but this scoreboard will not show you vehicle losses, radio losses, stuff like that. You have to kind of like look back and think what radios you lost, what radios you killed, flags you captured, stuff like that.